Did you hear? The Rainy Night Butcher has been caught. Holy shit, for real? For real. I heard the Rainy Night Butcher is only 18, a senior at Mingxing No. One high school, only 18, and already so depraved. What's that little bastard's name? I think it's Yi Xian. Name: Yi Xian. Gender: male. While dealing with the criminal police's interrogation, Yi Xian figured out his situation. He had been reborn. It was now the year 04. This was the year the school bell's mother found him. She told him he wasn't worthy of her daughter. Told him not to ruin her daughter's future. This was the year he acted heroically for a just cause. Yet he was mistaken for the Rainy Night Butcher who had committed 3 consecutive rape murders. Although he was eventually cleared of suspicion, he missed the college entrance exams because of it. Any normal person would have broken down after suffering setbacks in both love and academics. But Yi Xian was stubborn. He refused to admit defeat. Ignoring his parents' pleas, he gave up the chance to repeat the school year. Holding in his frustration, he entered the workforce to make a living. When no one was optimistic about his chances, he relied on his drive, intelligence, and courage, and forcefully made a name for himself, becoming a young boss with a net worth of several hundred million. But the regrets left from his youth remained like a thorn in his heart. So, last night, he called his best buddy to drink at a roadside stall. The stories flowed with the alcohol, and the more they drank, the more they had. In the end, he blacked out completely. When he opened his eyes again, he found himself being interrogated. Ding! Second life system loading successful. Current system status: pending activation. Host: please change the course of your life as soon as possible to obtain karma points and activate the system. Just as Yi Xian was lost in memories of the past, a synthesized electronic voice sounded in his mind. Yi Xian was stunned for a moment, then began to get excited. In his past life, he would read web novels in his spare time, so he was naturally no stranger to systems. He already knew the world's trajectory for the next 19 years. And now he had to cheat like a system. There was so much he could do: make up for the regrets of his youth, take his career to the next level, even become a big shot who could make the world tremble with a stomp of his foot. Just as Yi Xian was fantasizing about the future of the 2 criminal policemen interrogating him, the younger one shouted, "What are you daydreaming for? Honestly confess your crimes." Yi Xian quickly gathered his thoughts and said with some helplessness, "I was really acting heroically for a just cause." Tonight, he had gone to his grandma's house to deliver dumplings. It started pouring rain shortly after he arrived. By 9 o'clock, the rain showed no signs of stopping, so he put on a raincoat and headed home. As he passed by Luqiao Lane, an open red umbrella at the entrance caught his attention. When he reached the mouth of the alley, he saw someone deep inside. It was pitch black, and he could only vaguely make out that the person seemed to be dragging something on the ground. Curious, he switched on his flashlight and shone it over. In the beam of light, a woman in a dress was being dragged by a person in a black raincoat. His scalp tingled in that instant, but before he could even react, the person in the black raincoat took off running. After a fierce internal struggle, he bravely walked over to the woman and bent down to check on her. Only then did he realize she was about the same age as him. Her dress was soaked by the rain, clinging tightly to her body and outlining her fine figure. He checked for her breath, unconscious but breathing. So, using the first aid knowledge he learned from TV, he began to perform artificial respiration on the girl. Right as he was in the middle of the rescue, the girl's parents came looking for her. A rainy night, an alley, their daughter unconscious, and the only boy present was kissing and pressing her chest. Although on April 27, 2002, a rainy night rape and murder case shocked the entire city. The Sub-Bureau at the time invested a large amount of police force to solve this case. However, the murderer committed the crime on a heavy rainy day. The crime scene was severely damaged, leaving almost no effective clues. This brought the investigation of the case to a standstill, just as the Mingxing Sub-Bureau was at a loss with this case. In July of the same year, the second rainy night rape and murder case occurred. In June 2003, the third one happened. The superiors were furious. The public was in a panic because the victims were all young women wearing floral dresses. As a result, for the past few years, the young women and wives of Mingcheng didn't even dare to wear floral dresses. The leaders of the sub-bureau were so worried their hair turned white. Until today, the fourth case with the same modus operandi occurred. The suspect was actually caught at the scene by the victim's family. The leaders of the sub-bureau who received the news couldn't sit still. Even the deputy chief, who was in the hospital waiting for an appendectomy, ignored the doctor's advice and ran back. At this moment, they were watching Yi Xian in the interrogation room through the one-way glass. Is this kid really a high school student? Look at his demeanor. He's a complete old fox. With such mental fortitude, doesn't it make it more likely that he's the rainy night demon? Old Li, give him a cigarette. Amidst the discussion, the chief pressed the intercom button and gave the order. Criminal policeman Old Li quickly got up. After walking to Yi Xian's side, he took out a pack of Hongjiang. Hongjiang, I haven't smoked these in a long time. Yi Xian glanced at it and raised his cuffed hands with a smile. Old Li chuckled. You're an 18-year-old brat. How long could you have been smoking? Open your mouth. Yi Xian cooperatively opened his mouth. Old Li took out a cigarette and stuck it in. Then he took out a lighter and lit the cigarette for Yi Xian. Thanks, uncle. Yi Xian took a deep drag and enjoyably blew out his smoke ring. Old Li chuckled. If you really want to thank me, then honestly confess everything and save me from staying up all night. During interrogation, one plays the good cop and one plays the bad cop. This was a standard routine. So he was also trying to play the sympathy card, without much hope. He never expected Yi Xian to actually nod and say, all right, no problem. I guarantee I'll let you take the credit. Everyone's spirits were instantly lifted. Old Li quickly returned to his original position. The young criminal policeman, Xiao Zhang, also sat up straight. All the leaders of the sub-bureau held their breath. Yi Xian took another drag before slowly saying, I suddenly remembered the behavioral characteristics of the rainy night demon are very similar to someone I know. Old Li was first stunned, then asked doubtfully, didn't you say before that you didn't see the murderer's face clearly? Yi Xian flicked the ash from his cigarette and smiled. I indeed didn't see the murderer's face clearly, but his figure and the strange posture when he fled gave me a very familiar feeling. At the time of the incident, he was scared out of his wits. How could he be in the mood to observe the other person? But he was a reincarnator. He knew all the information about the rainy night demon, including his name, age, height, behavioral characteristics, and so on. He just needed to cleverly reveal this information and persuade the criminal police to investigate. Then they would definitely be able to find evidence and bring the rainy night demon to justice. Xiao Zhang slammed the table in anger and scolded. Starting to make up stories, are you? Trying to mislead our investigation? I'm telling you, stubborn resistance will only harm you. With his case handling experience, he was more than 80% sure that this high school senior was the rainy night demon. Not to mention the scene when Yi Xian was caught. Just the calmness and sophistication this kid showed during the interrogation was very suspicious. Yi Xian glanced at him. Whether I'm misleading or not, you can make a judgment after you've heard me out. On the other side of the one-way glass. What a mouthful of lies. Making up nonsense without batting an eyelid. This young man is not simple. The leaders sneered one after another. Chief Chen Wu, however, shook his head and said, the biggest taboo in investigating a case is being preconceived. Yi Xian is indeed very suspicious, but there's also the possibility of him being wronged. It's better for a suspect to make up a story than to say nothing at all. So we might as well listen and see what he has to say. The other leaders were stunned for a moment, then began to agree. Chief Chen's analysis is insightful and thought-provoking. One lie requires countless lies to cover it up. Chief Chen's perspective on problems is truly far-sighted. I have to admire it. Amidst the praise, Chen Wu pressed the intercom button. Let him continue. Xiao Zhang had wanted to reprimand Yi Xian a few more times. After receiving the instruction, he could only shut up. Old Li chuckled. Then tell us about it. Yi Xian took a drag from his cigarette and recalled, the rainy night demon's posture when he ran away was very distinctive. What was distinctive about it? He limped, like he had a club foot. Old Li motioned for Xiao Zhang to take notes and asked, anything else? This characteristic, though distinct, was hard to go by in Mingcheng, a county town with a population of 400,000. It would be very difficult to find someone based solely on a limp. He's about 170 centimeters tall, with a slender build. As soon as Yi Xian finished speaking, Xiao Zhang questioned him. You could tell if he was fat or thin, even with a raincoat on. A fat person and a thin person would definitely look different in a raincoat, right? Yi Xian retorted with a smile. Lao Li smiled non-committally. Is there anyone you know who fits this description? Yi Xian nodded. Lao Wang, the owner of Qingyuan restaurant. I've eaten there a few times, and the food is pretty good. Xiao Zhang's eyes narrowed as he said coldly. Are you telling me you drew the target first and then shot the arrow? On the other side of the one-way mirror. The situation was so critical at the time. How could he have had the presence of mind to observe all that? Even if he did see it, why didn't he say so from the beginning? I think Xiao Zhang's suspicion has some merit. In order to clear his own name, he deliberately chose someone he knew with distinct characteristics and framed him as the Rainy Night Maniac. This high school student is too cunning. The leaders of the sub-bureau once again voiced their opinions. Inside the interrogation room, ignoring the questioning from the detective surnamed Zhang, Yi Xian said slowly, of course, a raincoat can conceal one's figure to a certain extent, and the limp could have been a sprained ankle. I only got a quick glance, so my judgment of his height could also be wrong. But there is one thing that makes me sure Lao Wang is suspicious. A glint appeared in Lao Li's eyes. What is it? One time I was eating at Qingyuan restaurant, and I got thirsty halfway through my meal, so I went to the back kitchen to look for a thermos. After I went in, I saw a large freezer in the corner. So I said to Lao Wang, who was cooking, Uncle Wang, do you have any ice cream? I like one. As I spoke, I opened the freezer door. But guess what happened? What? Not only Lao Li was intrigued, but even Xiao Zhang, who had been hostile towards Yi Xian, was now all ears. Outside, the group of sub-bureau leaders also held their breath. Yi Xian took a final drag of his cigarette and said with a grave expression. Lao Wang rushed over and slammed the freezer door shut. Then he stared at me as if he wanted to eat me alive. There were a few seconds of silence in the interrogation room. After a while, Xiao Zhang asked, what does that prove? Before Yi Xian could speak, Lao Li frowned and said, in 2001, Wang Shuxing's wife, Lu Xiufan, went missing and has never been found. Xiao Zhang was stunned for a moment, then said in horror, Master, you don't mean to say. Lu Xiufan didn't go missing, but was murdered by him, a body hidden in a freezer. Hiss. On the other side of the one-way mirror, the leaders of the sub-bureau all connected the information provided by Yi Xian to a much more profound issue. Inside the interrogation room, Lao Li ignored his apprentice and looked directly into Yi Xian's eyes, asking, what are you trying to say? At the time, I thought Lao Wang was afraid I would steal something from the freezer, but now. Yi Xian threw the cigarette butt to the ground, stomped it out, and continued. If the person I saw tonight really was Lao Wang, then the previous incident has a much better explanation. His wife's disappearance was a lie. She was murdered. He hid his wife's body in the freezer. That day, he was so reactive because he was afraid I would discover the body inside. In his previous life, the Rainy Night Maniac was caught because of a power outage. The body in the freezer began to stink, attracting the attention of the diners. Afterwards, the police found the personal belongings of the victims of the serial murders in Lao Wang's home. With that, the serial murder case that had shocked Mingcheng was solved. In his previous life, Yi Xian had never been to Qingyuan restaurant, let alone gone to the back kitchen looking for water. Although the process was fabricated, his accusation was true. Now, it was up to the police to see if they would take it seriously. After he finished speaking, Xiao Zhang's mouth was slightly agape. Lao Li's brows were tightly furrowed. On the other side of the one-way mirror, the sub-bureau leaders were in an uproar. If what he said is true, then this clue is too important. But we can't rule out the possibility that he is deliberately misleading our investigation. Chief Chen, what do you think? A group of leaders all looked at Chen Wu, waiting for him to make a decision. Chief Chen frowned and thought for a moment, then made a decisive call. We'd rather waste a trip than let a lead slip by. Lao He, go and apply for a search warrant. Team 1 and Team 2 immediately head to Qingyuan restaurant to set up surveillance. The moment you get the search warrant, go in and search. Yes. Inside the interrogation room, Yi Xian, who had fallen asleep leaning against the interrogation chair, was suddenly awakened by a synthesized electronic voice in his mind. Ding! Congratulations to the host for successfully changing the course of your life. You have been rewarded with 12,580 karma points. Ding! Congratulations to the host. The second life system has been successfully activated. Chapter 003. System. I'll be damned if I believe you. The system has been successfully activated. In an instant, Yi Xian's sleepiness completely vanished. With a thought, a semi-transparent system interface appeared in his line of sight. This interface had a minimalist style. There were only 3 options on the taskbar: personal attributes, lottery wheel, and system backpack. Yi Xian composed himself and opened the personal attributes interface. Host: Yi Xian physique, brain power, charisma, karma points. 125 note. Physique is a comprehensive measure of physical qualities such as strength, speed, endurance, agility, flexibility, and coordination. The average physique, brain power, and charisma for an adult male are all 75 points. In other words, all 3 of my stats are above average. Yi Xian's eyes lit up, and then he opened the lottery wheel interface. Just as the name suggested, a golden wheel appeared before his eyes. On the wheel, red lines divided it into 4 sections: skill type, consumable type, attribute type, and special type. The skill type section took up 70% of the area. Consumable type, 20%. Attribute type, 9%. Special type, only 1%. You could guess with your toes that the smaller the area a category occupied, the more valuable it was. Yi Xian tried clicking the pointer. In the next instant, a dialog box popped up. 100 karma points. 1. The number 1 had a faded box as a background, with plus and dash buttons next to it. Each lottery draw costs 100 karma points, and the number of draws can be freely chosen. After pondering for a moment, Yi Xian began to experiment. Just as he had expected, the number of draws could be changed to any number he wanted. I wonder if this thing has a beginner's protection period. Yi Xian muttered to himself. The beginner's protection period was a very metaphysical thing. For example, fishing on the same river. A seasoned old fisherman with top-tier gear might not catch a single fish all day. But a child with a toy fishing rod, without even using bait to attract fish, could pull them up one after another. Passers-by would fall silent. The old fisherman would weep. Another example is playing cards. A novice who barely understands the rules can often draw good hands consecutively. Sometimes, Yi Xian even suspected, could gods truly exist in this world? Was the beginner's protection period a prank they pulled when they were bored? Yi Xian shook his head with a smile, deciding to give it a shot to test his luck. He clicked on a lottery draw. The pointer started, then accelerated. Special type, special type. Let me get the special type. Yi Xian stared intently at the wheel, praying nonstop. After 15 seconds of high-speed spinning, the pointer's speed slowed down. As it passed over the special type section, it had nearly come to a stop. Yi Xian's eyes lit up. Could there really be such a thing as a beginner's protection period? But before his anticipation could soar to its peak, the pointer actually moved forward another 1 degree. With just that 1 degree, the pointer jumped from the special type to the skill type. Ding! Congratulations to the host. You have drawn a Mathematics Experience Book 1. Yi Xian. What happened to the promised beginner's protection period? It's my fucking first draw, and you give me the item with the highest probability? Also, what the hell is a Mathematics Experience Book? Did I fucking bind a Bulbageo learning machine or something? Just draw whichever subject I'm weak at. But I'm already a young boss worth hundreds of millions. What's the use of learning math? Wait a minute. I'm a high school student now. I still have to take the Gaokao. The sleep-addled Yi Xian finally realized. Then, he started to get a little excited. In high school, his grades were always in the upper middle ranks of his class. The type who could reach the Tier 1 university admission line with some effort, but was still far from being a top student. The school belle, Xiao Nanji, whom he had a crush on for 3 years, was a top student with the potential to get into a top-tier 985 university. In his previous life, Xiao Nanji had indeed been admitted to Jiangnan University, a top 3 school. He, on the other hand, came from a dual-income family. The school belle's mother, He Yurong, however, was a self-made, powerful businesswoman. In 2004, Her net worth was already several million. The gap between their two families was indeed huge. Now, he had been reborn, and he also had this divine artifact that let him draw whichever subject he was weak in. Then, wouldn't he be able to say that classic line, 30 years the river flows east, to he your own? Thinking of this, Yi Xian adjusted the number of lottery draws to 10. After pressing the lottery button, a skip lottery animation option appeared. He clicked confirm. In the next instant, the lottery results were listed. Mathematics experience, book mathematics experience, book chemistry experience, book super lotto second prize ticket physics experience book. Wait, it looks like something strange got mixed in. Yi Xian glanced back again. Sure enough, amidst the pile of experience books, he saw a lottery ticket shining with a golden light. Super lotto second prize, consumable type. This lottery is a bit interesting. Yi Xian had thought about using his memories as a reincarnator to buy lottery tickets before, but in his past life, he didn't believe in it, so naturally, he couldn't remember the winning numbers for each draw. Even if he did remember, he probably wouldn't have won the grand prize. After all, those are no-no, but since the system said this was a second prize lottery ticket, it couldn't be wrong. As for how much the prize money would be, it all depended on how many first and second prize winners there were. It could be as little as 100,000 or as much as several million. Anyway, the draw is tonight. Whatever the amount, it's an unexpected bonus. After glancing at the draw date, Yi Xian put the matter aside. However, the appearance of the second prize lottery ticket made him feel that his luck was starting to turn. So he decided to go big. 50 consecutive draws after modifying the number of attempts. Yi Xian closed his eyes and muttered a few phrases like Buddha's blessing, infinite heavenly venerate, Jade Emperor protect me, God watch over me. After completing the ritual, he clicked to draw. Language experience, book biology experience, book English experience, book for more than 40 consecutive draws. They were all bloody experience books for various subjects. Is the system trying to tell me in this way that knowledge is priceless? With knowledge, you have everything? System, I'm enlightened. I'm enlightened. Just as Yi Xian was moved by his own enlightenment of the world's truth. Spring water of rejuvenation stamina, capsule brain power, capsule charisma, capsule mathematics experience, book purchase permit. These items appeared one by one before his eyes. Yi Xian. System, I fell for your trick. Yi Xian felt that he was being targeted by the system. He felt very wronged right now. But on second thought, this was all his own mental activity, and there was no one else here. As long as he wasn't embarrassed, the one who should be embarrassed was the system. After adjusting his mood, Yi Xian entered the system backpack. All the items obtained from the lottery were stored here in categories. Among them, there were 3 bottles of spring water of rejuvenation, 1 capsule each for stamina, brain power, and charisma. There is also 1 lottery ticket and 53 experience books for various subjects. These were all the items Yi Xian obtained after 61 draws. Spring water of rejuvenation, consumable, can treat most common diseases, effective immediately after consumption. Stamina capsule, attribute permanently increases stamina by 1 point after use. Brain power capsule, attribute permanently increases brain power by 1 point after use. Charisma capsule, attribute permanently increases charisma by 1 point after use. Mathematics experience book purchase permit, special after use. The host can purchase mathematics experience books at will in the system store. The spring water of rejuvenation was for healing and wasn't needed right now. As for the experience books and the 3 types of capsules, using them might cause something like the expulsion of black impurities as described in novels. So after some consideration, Yi Xian only used the special mathematics experience book purchase permit. A flash of light appeared before his eyes. In the next moment, a system store option was added to the taskbar. He clicked to view it. Currently, there was only 1 item for sale in the store. Mathematics experience book, skill 100 karma points / book. Can permanently increase mathematical knowledge after use. He looked at his personal attributes. Remaining karma points, 6480. Enough for another 64 draws. Should I use them all up? Just as Yi Xian was hesitating, the door to the interrogation room was suddenly pushed open from the outside. A beaming Chun Wu walked in, leading a group of branch bureau leaders. Student Yi Xian, You performed a great service this time. Chun Wu quickened his pace, took Yi Xian's hand, and said excitedly. Before Yi Xian could reply, Chun Wu saw that he was still wearing handcuffs. He immediately said angrily, Old Li, what's going on? Why is little Yi still in handcuffs? Take them off for him. Old Li slapped his forehead. My mistake, my mistake. Little Zhang, quickly, unlock them for student Yi Xian. We can't let our hero be wronged. Oh, little Zhang, who had been playing the bad cop all night, quickly took out the key and unlocked the handcuffs for Yi Xian. Yi Xian rubbed his slightly sore wrists and pretended to be confused. Is Old Wang really the rainy night maniac? Yes, based on the clues you provided, we found Lu Xiufin's body in the freezer in the back kitchen of the Qingyuan restaurant. Later, we found the personal clothing of the serial murder victims in Wang Shuxing's house. The evidence is irrefutable. Wang Shuxing confessed to all his crimes on the spot. Chen Wu's face was flushed with excitement. The serial murder case that had plagued the Mingcheng Branch Bureau for 3 years was finally solved. As the bureau chief, he could finally breathe a sigh of relief. He might even get a promotion because of this achievement. So now, the more he looked at Yi Xian, the more he liked him. A look of joy appeared on Yi Xian's face. Does that mean my name is cleared? Cleared, completely cleared. Student Yi Xian, you have been wronged. Chen Wu shook his hand back and forth. It's nothing. Cooperating with a police investigation is every citizen's duty. Yi Xian smiled nonchalantly, then his tone shifted. It's just. Chen Wu was puzzled. What? Yi Xian grinned. Shouldn't you guys be applying for a Good Samaritan award for me? Let me first declare, I'm not doing it for the money. I'm not interested in money. It's just that I was arrested by you as the Rainy Night Devil, so my reputation has definitely taken a hit. If you could send a Good Samaritan banner to my school, wouldn't that help restore my reputation faster? The various leaders were all amused. This kid, just after being clear of suspicion, was already thinking about how to restore his reputation. His mind really was something else. Of course, this is what we should do. Not only will we send you a banner, but we'll also give you a Good Samaritan cash reward. Chun Wu laughed heartily and nodded in agreement. Oh, that would be too much. Yi Xian gave a shy smile. Then his tone shifted again. By the way, I remember that providing a valid clue about the Rainy Night Devil comes with a maximum reward of 50,000 yuan, right? The clue I provided should be enough to get the maximum bounty, shouldn't it? Chen Wu, Old Li, Little Zhang, the other leaders. Wait a minute. Who was it that just swore up and down that they weren't interested in money? How come he's now got his eyes on the 50,000 yuan bounty? Did you just eat your own words? Although Yi Xian was contradicting himself, it was hard to dislike him. On the contrary, they found him rather amusing and interesting. For a moment, the people at the Mingcheng branch station looked at him with much more warmth. Chen Wu pointed at Yi Xian a few times with his hand and laughed. You little rascal, you were waiting for me with this, weren't you? Don't worry, you won't be shortchanged on the bounty for the Rainy Night Devil. Yi Xian grinned. Then I'll thank you in advance, Director Chun. 50,000 yuan might not sound like much, but this was 2004. What were the housing prices in the capital in 04? Just over 4,000. 100,000 yuan was enough for a down payment on an 80 square meter apartment on the South 2nd Ring Road. Never mind 19 years later, just 4 years later in 08, housing prices in the capital had already risen to over 12,000. In 09, they skyrocketed to over 25,000. What kind of appreciation rate was that? And in his previous life, Yi Xian had only managed to save 50,000 by 08. Getting 50,000 yuan 4 years earlier, even without the system, he was confident he could make his assets 10 times what they were in his past life. Thank me for what? This is what you deserve. Chen Wu stopped mid-sentence, suddenly stunned. You know me? He hadn't introduced himself after entering. No one had introduced him to Yi Xian either. Although he wore an epaulette, a deputy director's epaulette was also 2 bars and 1 star, so he was very curious how Yi Xian had recognized him. Yi Xian thought to himself, oh no, in his past life, he had dealt with Chun Wu many times. But in 04, they didn't know each other yet. Fortunately, his ability to adapt was excellent. After a moment's thought, he smiled. Of course I do. Your introduction is on the police affairs board in the main hall. I saw it when I was brought in. Chun Wu had a sudden realization. You kid, your observation skills are really something. The others also praised his sharp observation. Yi Xian secretly breathed a sigh of relief, and he reminded himself that he had to adapt to his identity as a reincarnator as soon as possible to avoid making similar mistakes again. Just as the two sides were exchanging pleasantries, a detective said, "By the way, I think student Yi Xian's parents have been standing at the main gate this whole time." The room instantly fell silent. Then, Chun Wu said with dissatisfaction, "Why didn't you say so earlier?" The detective gave a wry smile. "I just remembered. How could you overlook something so important?" Chun Wu glared at him, then turned to Yi Xian and said, "My apologies, little Yi, for making your parents worry. How about this? Let's go out together, and I'll explain everything to them personally." Chapter 005. Is it too late to jump out of the car now? At the entrance of the branch station, Yi Jiming smoked a cigarette, looking anxiously at the brightly lit office building. Beside him, Wang Jiahui paced back and forth ceaselessly. Not long after Yi Xian was arrested, people from the branch station went to their home to search for evidence. At that moment, the couple Yi Jiming and his wife felt like their world had collapsed. After they came to their senses, they rode their motorcycle here. The visibility was poor at night, and they were in too much of a hurry, even falling once on the way. "Jiming, you don't think little Xian could have really?" "No, absolutely not. I believe in little Xian too, but he's been in there for so long and still isn't out. It's an investigation. It always takes time. What if little Xian is wrongly accused?" Yi Jiming was silent at first, then said in a firm tone, "Then I'll go to the city authorities to demand an explanation. If the city won't do, I'll go to the province. If the province won't do, I'll go to the capital. I may not be much of a father, but if anyone tries to harm my son, I'll fight them to the death." Wang Jiahui's eyes reddened as she tightly gripped his hands. Just then, Yi Xian walked out of the first-floor lobby. Behind him followed Chen Wu, Lao Li, Xiao Zhang, and others. "Jiming, look, isn't that Xiao Xian?" "It is. Why are so many police officers following him?" "Don't tell me. He's being taken to the detention center." As Wang Jiahui's imagination ran wild, Yi Xian raised his hand, shouted "Mom, Dad," and started running towards them. Once he started running, Chun Wu and the others couldn't just walk slowly. They had no choice but to start running too. A suspect running in front, a group of police officers chasing from behind. Who wouldn't let their imagination run wild at a sight like that? At that moment, Yi Jiming and his wife were scared out of their wits. "Yi Xian, you stop right there. Xiao Xian, don't run, stop." Shouting, the couple ran to intercept them. Yi Xian subconsciously stopped, looking bewildered. What's wrong? But to his surprise, Yi Jiming and his wife ran right past him. Watching the couple run towards them, Chen Wu and the others were also stunned. At a time like this, shouldn't they be concerned about their son first? It can't be that they're coming to settle a score with us because their son was wrongly accused. Can it? At this thought, Chen Wu and the others felt a little guilty. "Officer," Yi Xian was just so excited to see us that he started running. "Please give him another chance." "Officer, you saw it too. Xiao Xian didn't manage to run away. We stopped him. Please don't blame him, okay?" "Yi Xian." "Great. Mom and Dad thought I was a fugitive trying to escape. What a mess." Chen Wu also understood what was happening and didn't know whether to laugh or cry. "You two have misunderstood. Student Yi Xian isn't running away. He's been released by us." "Huh? Released?" Yi Jiming and his wife were slow to catch on, frozen on the spot. "We've already investigated the matter thoroughly. Xiao Yi acted heroically for a just cause. He's not a criminal, he's a hero." Chen Wu quickly explained. "A hero?" Yi Jiming and his wife turned in unison to look at Yi Xian, both astonished and bewildered. Not only that, but he also provided us with a crucial clue that helped us catch the real Rainy Night maniac. "Sir, ma'am, your son remains composed in the face of danger. He has the air of a great general. Student Yi Xian is both brave and resourceful. He's destined for great things in the future." Wang Jiahui was dumbfounded, and so was Yi Jiming. Just a moment ago, they were worried their son was being taken to the detention center. Now, he was suddenly a hero in the mouths of the police officers? Were they dreaming? "Dad, Mom, what happened to your legs?" Only then did Yi Xian notice the holes in his parents' trousers. It looked like their knees were scraped too. We fell off the bike on the way here. It's nothing, Yi Jiming said with a laugh, looking unconcerned. Compared to their son being safe and sound, what did a small injury like this matter? It's just that the bike is broken and won't start. Wang Jiahui sighed, feeling a pang of heartache. This vehicle was a major household purchase. It had cost nearly 5,000 back then. In the early 2000s, the average salary in Mingxing was only about 1,500. Even though both of them worked at a state-owned enterprise, their salaries were only a little over 2,000. It doesn't matter if the bike is broken, as long as you're okay, Yi Xian said quickly, knowing his mother was frugal. Yi Jiming nodded in agreement. Our son being okay is more important than anything. We can just get the bike fixed. Thinking about her son being safe, Wang Jiahui smiled too. But then she faced a dilemma. But we can't find a repair shop now. Should we push the bike back home? Yi Jiming chuckled. Let's push it. We can treat it as exercise. Yi Xian was startled. Let's not. It's nearly 3 miles. If we push it back, it'll be lunchtime. Let's leave the bike at the station for now and hire a truck to pick it up later. The couple immediately hesitated. Leaving it here, is that appropriate? It should be. Appropriate, right? Yi Xian looked at Chun Wu. The corner of Chun Wu's mouth twitched. Appropriate, very appropriate. We have plenty of space here. You can leave it for as long as you want. This little rascal, he thought, you've already said it's appropriate. If I say it's not, would that be appropriate? See? These are good police officers who truly serve the people. Yi Xian offered some praise, then changed the subject. It's just that we can't get a cab at this hour. We'll have to walk back. As he said this, he kept shooting little glances at Chen Wu. The group of police officers couldn't help but chuckle. Back at the station, everyone had already seen how Yi Xian couldn't get enough of taking advantage of a situation. And now he was pulling this trick again. This kid, is he really only 18? You little rascal, if you want me to arrange a car to take you home, just say so. Why do you keep looking at me? Xiao Zhang, I'll have to trouble you to drive Xiao Yi and his family home. Chen Wu pointed at Yi Xian as he casually gave the order. Yes, sir. Xiao Zhang took the car keys and ran to a police car. Yi Jiming and his wife were startled. This isn't appropriate. It's really not appropriate. We can just walk back ourselves. Yi Xian reached out a hand to stop them. Dad, Mom, Chief Chun means well. It would be inappropriate for us to refuse. Besides, everyone in the neighborhood probably knows I was arrested, right? Having the police officer drive us back can also help clear things up for us. Chen Wu nodded in agreement. Exactly, that's what I was thinking too. Other things didn't matter, but when it came to their son's reputation, Yi Jiming and his wife certainly wouldn't refuse. And so, after some pleasantries, the family of 3 got into Xiao Zhang's special car and started their journey home. Oh, my dear son, you were amazing. No wonder all those police officers praised you for being both brave and clever. You truly are my good son. Yi Jiming also nodded repeatedly, his face full of pride. After the praise, Wang Jiahui's tone shifted. I'm warning you, if you ever encounter something like this again, you must stay far away. Don't be so impulsive again. Mom doesn't want you to be a hero. I just want you to be safe and sound. Got it. Yi Xian's nose tingled, and he nodded. All right, I'll remember. Xiao Zhang, who was driving, was reminded of his own mother, and his eyes reddened slightly. Just as he was feeling moved, he heard Wang Jiahui say, By the way, I remember there was a reward for the rainy night maniac, wasn't there? Xiao Zhang. Well, now I see why Yi Xian was thinking about the reward right away. It turns out he gets it from his mom. Yi Xian nodded. I was just about to tell you. Chief Chun said the clue I provided could get me the highest reward of 50,000. That much. Wang Jiahui's eyes lit up. Then she asked worriedly, They won't go back on their word, will they? As she spoke, she looked towards Xiao Zhang in the driver's seat. They probably won't, right? Yi Xian also looked over. Xiao Zhang felt the atmosphere was off and glanced at the rearview mirror. Good grief, 2 pairs of big eyes are staring daggers at me. He didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Auntie, please rest assured. Our Chief Chin isn't that kind of person. Wang Jiahui nodded in satisfaction. Son, did you hear that? Officer Zhang has given you his guarantee. If you don't get that 50,000 in the future, you go to him for it. Yi Xian, you got it, Mom. I'll remember. Xiao Zhang. Did I say something wrong? Is it too late to jump out of the car? Waiting online for an answer, it's quite urgent. Chapter 006. Do you realize you're murdering an innocent dog? Did you hear? The son from the old Yi family got arrested last night. Yi Xian. For real. How could it be fake? Several police cars showed up last night. I saw it too. A bunch of police officers rushed into old Ye's house and turned the place upside down. Whoa, what did the kid do? I heard it was armed robbery, and he stabbed someone. No way. What I heard was that he assaulted a girl. Then it must be that he robbed someone on the street, a woman, and after robbing her, he assaulted her and finally stabbed her. How come I heard that kid is the rainy night maniac? What? Yi Xian, the rainy night maniac. That can't be right. Isn't Xiao Yi such a good kid? He couldn't have done something like that, could he? This just goes to show you can't judge a book by its cover. At 7 a.m., inside the Jinxiu Huading residential community, people who were up early for work gathered together to chat. This community was built with funds raised by the Mingcheng Machinery Factory, where Yi Jiming and his wife worked. Most of the residents were employees of the factory. In a neighborhood of acquaintances, trivial family matters could spread quickly, let alone something as big as having your house searched by the police. In an instant, more and more neighbors learned about Yi Xian's arrest. Just as the rumors were getting more and more outrageous, Officer Zhang drove the car through the community gate. See that? They're all gathered together, gossiping about our family. There was too much commotion last night. There's nothing we can do about it. Our son was thoughtful enough to know to ask Officer Zhang to come back with us. Our son has grown up. Yi Jiming and his wife were quite emotional. Actually, they had arrived an hour ago. It was Yi Xian who had suggested they eat breakfast outside before coming back, because at that time, most people hadn't left for the day yet, and the effect of clearing their name would have been much weaker. And this was something that even the two of them hadn't thought of. Yi Xian had always been sensible, but never this mature. No wonder people often say that a man must experience setbacks to grow. Look, another police car is here. Is it here for old Yi again? Sigh. I wonder what bad deeds old Yi did in a past life to have a son like this. As the neighbors pointed and gossiped, the police car came to a stop. Well, look at that. Everyone's here. Wang Jiahui greeted the neighbors as she got out of the car. Before anyone could respond, Yi Jiming and his son also emerged from the car. Everyone froze on the spot. Some even suspected they were seeing things, rubbing their eyes repeatedly. Jiahui, what's all this? Auntie Zhang, who was on good terms with Wang Jiahui, walked over, looking at Yi Xian at a loss for words. Wang Jiahui took a step forward and grabbed Auntie Zhang's hand. Oh, don't even ask. Old Yi and I were scared to death last night. What happened? Yi Xian was taken away by the police last night. Really? Yes, the police even came and searched our house. Old Yi and I were so scared. Our souls nearly left our bodies. When we rushed to the station to ask what was going on, guess what? What? Yi Xian was fine. Huh, not only was he fine, but Chief Chun even said our Yi Xian is a hero. Wang Jiahui then recounted the whole situation. To prove she wasn't lying, she even pulled Officer Zhang over. When the crowd learned that the police had captured the rainy night psycho based on a clue provided by Yi Xian, the entire place erupted. Wow, little Yi is that capable. Little Yi has helped us rid Mingcheng of a great menace. I knew it. Little Yi has been a sensible kid since he was young. How could he possibly do something illegal? To achieve something so great at such a young age, little Yi has a limitless future. Little Yi, your auntie stewed some pork ribs this morning. I'll bring a bowl over for you later. Okay? Listening to the neighborhood praise her son, Wang Jiahui's face bloomed into a smile. Oh, Yi Xian is still just a kid. You're all exaggerating. Yi Jiming took out a pack of cigarettes, passed them around to everyone, and then contentedly lit one for himself. Just as he was about to put the remaining half-pack away, Yi Xian snatched it from him. You should smoke less. Yi Jiming chuckled. You little rascal, telling me what to do now, are you? As he spoke, he tried to grab it back. This was a pack of Yazibi he had just bought this morning, 10 yuan a pack. If he hadn't planned on sharing them with the neighbors, he would never have bought such an expensive brand. But before he could succeed, Wang Jiahui held him in place. He's telling you for your own good. Son, Mom supports you. Thanks, Mom. Yi Xian grinned and under his father's resentful gaze, stuffed the cigarettes into his own pocket. Perfect, now I've got smokes for the day. Just as he was feeling pleased with himself, he saw Grandpa Lou, who lived downstairs, walking over with a transparent plastic bag. Looking closely, he saw it was a serving of cold noodles with sesame sauce. The layer of red chili oil floating on top was enough to make anyone's mouth water. It's been 19 years since I last saw Grandpa Lou. It feels so familiar to see him again. The moment this thought surfaced, a violent shiver ran down Yi Xian's spine. In his past life, Grandpa Lou had died the morning after he was arrested. And the cause of death was poisoning from cold noodles. Could it be this very bag of cold noodles? As his thoughts raced, Yi Xian quickly walked up to him. Grandpa Lou, haven't eaten yet? Nope, just bought these cold noodles. I'll go home, cook some congee, heat up a steamed bun, and that'll be a meal. After speaking, Grandpa Lou asked with a puzzled look, Isn't it Monday? How come you're not at school yet? Something came up at home. I'll go in a bit. You bought these noodles from the stall on the east side, right? They look delicious. That's right. I love the ones from his stall. They're authentic. I feel off if I don't have them for a day. I haven't had these in so long. Now that you mention it, you've got my craving started. How about this? Let me get a whiff, just to satisfy the craving. Are you making fun of your Grandpa Lou? If you want them, just take them. I can go out and buy another serving. It's no big deal. As he spoke, Grandpa Lou handed the bag of cold noodles over. Yi Xian chuckled and took it. No need, a sniff will do. With that, he opened the plastic bag and held it to his nose. It smelled good, very good. He sniffed again. There was a faint sour smell, but it was masked by the fragrance, unnoticeable unless you were trying to detect it. Having confirmed his suspicions, Yi Xian pretended his hand slipped, and the bag of cold noodles fell to the ground. Hey, you child, how can you be so careless? Quick, go and buy another portion for Grandpa Lou. Wang Jiahui had been watching them, and, seeing what happened, immediately took out her wallet and walked over. Grandpa Lou hurried to stop her. It's just a bag of cold noodles. I can buy it myself. As the two were pulling back and forth, a stray dog ran over. Seeing it was about to eat the noodles on the ground, Yi Xian quickly moved to shoo it away. But Yi Jiming grabbed him. If it wants to eat, let it eat. It's a waste otherwise. Yi Xian, Dad, do you have any idea you're about to murder a dog? Just as he was racking his brain for a solution, the stray dog had already gobbled down the cold-skinned noodles. On the other side, the intense tug-of-war was also nearing its end. After a great deal of persuasion, Grandpa Lou finally convinced Wang Jiahui to put her wallet back. Then, he was about to head out again to buy another serving of noodles. But just at that moment, the stray dog suddenly began to foam at the mouth and convulse violently. What's wrong with the dog? Is it poisoned? Holy shit, the noodles are poisoned. The noodles are poisoned. Everyone who witnessed the scene was stunned. A perfectly fine dog started foaming at the mouth right after eating the noodles. It didn't take a genius to figure out that something was wrong with the noodles. Grandpa Lou was so terrified his legs gave out, and he collapsed onto the ground. When he came to his senses, he scrambled up to Yi Xian, grasped his hand, and said, "Little Yi, you saved my life." At the same time, a system notification sound rang out. Ding! Congratulations, host. You have successfully changed the course of a life, receiving a reward of 21,000 karma points. Yi Xian. Chapter 007. I've shown my hand. How will you counter? I clearly changed Grandpa Lou's life. How can that trigger a reward? Wait, the phrase change the course of a life has no subject. Does that mean I can trigger a reward whether I change my own life or someone else's? In that case, I'll have countless opportunities to get rewards. Yi Xian had only intended to save Grandpa Lou's life. He never expected that, by a strange twist of fate, he would learn the true use of the second life system. Was this the legendary good deeds are rewarded? Grandpa Lou, please don't say that. It was your own good fortune. It has little to do with me. I just had a craving at the right time, Yi Xian said modestly. That's right. Old Lou's luck is incredible. That was so close, really just by a hair. Little Ye's craving was timed too perfectly. Isn't this just old Lou's good luck? The other neighbors all nodded in agreement. Officer Zhang, however, felt something wasn't quite right. From 9 p.m. last night until now, it had been 10 hours at most. In such a short time, how many things had Yi Xian done? He saved a little girl in Luqiao Alley. He helped the police capture the Rainy Night maniac. And now, by a twist of fate, he had saved Grandpa Lou. Was this kid the reincarnation of a lucky star? Shaking his head, he pushed these strange thoughts from his mind. Officer Zhang walked over to the stray dog's corpse, squatted down, and began to examine the scene. Officer Zhang, what's going on? Did someone poison the noodles? What kind of poison is this? It's so vicious. Seeing the residents about to crowd around, Officer Zhang quickly stood up to stop them. Everyone, please stay back and avoid contaminating the crime scene. After calming the crowd, he took out his phone to call for backup. Once that was done, he walked over to Grandpa Lou and asked, "Sir, have you made any enemies recently?" Grandpa Lou frowned in thought for a moment before shaking his head. "No, I'm a retired old man. Who would I have a feud with?" Yixian mused aloud. "I have a theory, though I'm not sure if it's correct." "Oh!" Officer Zhang's eyes lit up. He took out his notebook and said, "Please go on." After everything that had happened, he no longer dared to treat Yixian as an ordinary high school senior. If cold-skin noodles are stored improperly and spoil, they can produce a toxin called boncrecic acid. This toxin has a rapid onset, a high fatality rate, and no specific antidote. I suspect the noodles that Grandpa Lou bought contain this toxin. My suggestion is that you locate the vendor as soon as possible and check their remaining stock for the same issue. In his previous life, after hearing about Grandpa Lou's death, Yixian had specifically found the newspaper that reported the incident. The case was actually quite simple. To save money, the vendor had sold leftover noodles from the day before. The rising temperatures caused the noodles to spoil, leading to the tragedy. Fortunately, that was the only portion of leftover noodles that day. Otherwise, more innocent people would have died. Furthermore, during the investigation, the police had also discovered that the vendor was adding poppy husks to the sauce. That explained why his noodles were so addictive. What the hell? Spoiled noodles are that poisonous? Is that for real? That's terrifying. I'm never eating cold-skin noodles again. After hearing Yixian's explanation, a lingering fear washed over the neighbors. After all, nearly all of them had eaten this popular summer dish. Who wouldn't be afraid at the thought of having had such a close brush with death? This knowledge, where did you learn all this? Officer Zhang asked, half surprised and half curious, as he finished taking his notes. Frankly, even he, a police academy graduate, didn't know this information. And Yixian was just a high school senior. At school, I heard it from my teacher during biology class. Besides cold noodles, fermented cornmeal, steamed vermicelli rolls, rice noodles, wild mushroom soup, and white and black fungus. If these common foods spoil, they can also produce boncrecic acid. So, uncles and aunts, sirs and madams, you mustn't eat leftovers anymore. It's not worth getting sick just to save a little bit of money. Yixian gave an impromptu science lesson. In 2004, refrigerators weren't common yet, and many people would get sick from eating spoiled food in the heat. They were all neighbors, so he hoped to persuade as many as he could. After hearing you say that, how could I dare to eat leftovers again? I won't, never again. I'll listen to little Yi. I won't try to save money like that anymore. Son, don't you always ask me what the use of studying is? This is the answer. Daughter, when you grow up, don't you want to be as knowledgeable as your big brother Yixian? I do. Then you must study hard. Okay. Because of Yixian's explanation, the neighbors not only realized the dangers of spoiled food, but also the importance of knowledge. For a time, Yixian became the child from another family that many parents talked about. After giving his speculation and advice, there was nothing left for Yixian to do. He used the excuse of having to go to school and slipped back home. Mom, Dad, I'm going to take a shower first. With that, Yixian ducked into the bathroom. After turning on the shower, he entered the system and used all 6 subject experience books. In the next instant, a vast and complex stream of information flooded his mind. He had originally returned all his high school knowledge to his teachers. After all, it had been 19 years since graduation. But under the impact of this information, the knowledge he had once studied so hard for seemed to be reactivated, becoming incredibly clear and profound. On top of that, he had also mastered many new knowledge points. I just don't know how much this will improve my grades. Isn't today the first mock exam? A perfect chance to test the results. Being mistaken for the Rainy Night Butcher, in his past life had too great an impact on Yixian. Therefore, he remembered the events of the days surrounding the incident with exceptional clarity. Having made up his mind, he used the 3 capsules one by one. The scene he imagined of expelling black impurities from his body didn't happen. He only felt a warm current flowing through his entire body. Then Yixian went to the mirror to take a look. I seem to be a bit stronger than before, and a bit more handsome. My thinking is also clearer. Host, Yixian Fitness, Intellect, Charisma, Karma Points, 274 items, second prize sports lottery ticket 1, rejuvenation water 1. Looking at his personal stats, Yixian gave a victory sign to the mirror. A new day, a new life, let's go, young man. At 7:50 in the morning, Yixian rode his bicycle and rushed through the school gate of No. 1 middle school. It was now the morning self-study session, and the campus was very quiet. Looking at the familiar school building and the surrounding flowers and trees, Yixian slowed down until he stopped. Once, he had spent the most brilliant and passionate 3 years of his life here. Today, he had been away for half a lifetime, yet he returned as a teenager. Just as he was immersed in reminiscence, a sharp rebuke came from a distance. That student, what time is it? You still have a nerve to stand here and enjoy the scenery? What class are you in, and what's your name? Even after 19 years, hearing this voice still made Yixian jump. Wasn't this the dean of students, nicknamed Ghost Fright? How'd I run into this guy? Fortunately, Yixian's mental age was mature enough. After the initial tension, he turned around and said, "Sir, I'm Bai Yuntao from class 7 of the 3rd year. I had a family emergency today, so I'm late. I'll go back to my class right now." Ghost Fright thought he had misheard. "Your name is Bai Yun." "Bi Juntao," Yixian repeated without a blush or a flutter of his heart. "I've now brought out this world-shaking, God-and-ghost-moving name. How will you respond?" Chapter 008. The school bell is angry. What does that have to do with me? Ghost Fright sucked his teeth. This name, why does it sound so much like contraception? Not only contraception, but it was also a bit awkward to say. Forget it. Forget it. Hurry back to your classroom. You're already in your 3rd year, and you're still not taking it seriously. In the end, Ghost Fright waved his hand, turned around, and walked away. Having escaped, Yixian didn't dare to delay any longer. After parking his bike in the shed, he sprinted all the way to the door of Class 5 of the 3rd year. After taking 3 deep breaths, Yixian pushed open the door and walked in. A wave of heat from the classroom rushed over him, immediately followed by thunderous applause. Yixian's mind went blank for 3 seconds. When he came to his senses, he saw his homeroom teacher, Zhang Guangming, standing on the podium, clapping and smiling at him. Below the podium, his 53 classmates had the same expressions and were doing the same thing. The sunlight streamed in through the windows, bathing everyone in a radiant glow. Yixian had thought it would be awkward seeing these people again. But at this moment, as the faces from his memories appeared so clearly before him, the old feelings instantly returned. The past 19 years felt like a dream he had during class. Now, his classmates' applause had woken him up. Coming to his senses, Yixian rubbed his sore nose and smiled. "Old man, what's all this about?" Zhang Guangming, who was clapping, paused for a moment. The other students also stopped what they were doing, staring blankly at Yixian. Yixian's tone and demeanor were a bit too relaxed, weren't they? It was like facing an old friend he hadn't seen in years. But the problem was, this was their head teacher, normally, who didn't act like Sun Wukong meeting the Buddha in front of Old Man. Yixian also knew his attitude wasn't proper. After all, in his past life, after he started his own business, he would visit Old Man every time he returned to Mingxing. The two would sit together, smoking, drinking, and chatting idly, having long since become friends despite their age gap. It was too difficult to act as respectful and restrained as he had in school. He couldn't be bothered to pretend, so he decided to just be himself. Zhang Guangming smiled. "The school already knows about your heroic act. You are the pride of our class, the pride of No. 1 high school. We are all proud of you." Yixian feigned surprise. "Huh. The school already knows?" Zhang Guangming nodded. "Yes, Officer Li from the Mingchang branch personally came to our school and told us about your heroic deeds." After the simple welcome ceremony, Zhang Guangming checked the time. "All right, everyone take a break. The mock exam will start in 15 minutes. Everyone's spirits have been high, but upon hearing the word exam, a chorus of groans and wails erupted. Zhang Guangming shook his head with a smile and left the classroom. As soon as old Ban was gone, a figure rushed over and punched Yixian on the shoulder. Not bad. Yixian, playing the hero, saving the damsel in distress, huh? His name was Hong Li Teo, Yixian's deskmate and best friend. In his past life, it was with him that Yixian had been drinking at the roadside stall. Following him, a few other classmates who were on good terms with Yixian also gathered around. You guys have no idea how dangerous the situation was back then. Just as Yixian was animatedly recounting the incident, he suddenly felt someone tugging on his sleeve. Stop messing around. Thinking it was someone playing a prank, Yixian shook his arm without looking back. But the person didn't give up and tugged his sleeve again. Hey, you're really pushing it. Yixian turned his head and saw a bright, beautiful face that had haunted his dreams for many years, Xiao Nanji. At that moment, memories flooded out like an open dam. In '01, new student registration. A simple question for directions on campus, a single glance back, had captivated his entire summer. In '02, the arts and sciences stream split. They were assigned to the same class. From then on, every breath of air he took seemed to carry a special sweetness. In '03, they went from ordinary classmates to close friends who could talk about anything. They went to and from school together. Every morning, he would buy her breakfast, come rain or shine. Back then, he thought he would stay by her side for a lifetime, until last Friday, when he gathered the courage to confess, only to receive her flustered reply that she didn't want to date before college. The day after his confession, her mother found him and told him he wasn't good enough for her daughter, telling him not to ruin her future. After that, he was arrested as the Rainy Night Fiend. From that point on, the two never saw each other again. For Yixian, this was their reunion after 19 years apart. So, it was all just my own wishful thinking from the very beginning. Xiao Nanji, oh Xiao Nanji, in this life, I, Yixian, will never be your simp again. At this thought, Yixian sniffled and smiled. Classmate Xiao, do you need something? The other students were stunned. Who in the class didn't know that Yixian liked Xiao Nanji? He used to call her Nanji all the time. Why did he sound so distant today? Could it be they had a falling out? This form of address also made Xiao Nanji's heart inexplicably tighten. Is this guy still angry about last Friday? I already said I don't plan on dating before college. Maybe I should ignore him for now and wait for him to come and appease me. Forget it, forget it. He just acted as a hero. Your lady, will let him have this one. Thinking this, Xiao Nanji huffed softly and said, Classmate Yi, did you forget something? Yixian frowned slightly. What? Xiao Nanji held out her right hand. Breakfast, I'm hungry. Ye won. He really had forgotten about that. But then again, even if he did remember, it was impossible for him to buy breakfast for the campus belle, Xiao, anymore. After a brief daze, he pulled a 100 yuan bill from his wallet and handed it to Xiao Nanji. Xiao Nanji's delicate brows furrowed slightly. What do you mean? Yixian smiled. I forgot to buy your breakfast. You'll have to go hungry for now. Just eat more at lunch. Also, I won't be buying you breakfast anymore. This is the food money you gave me before. I'm returning it to you now. With that, he stuffed the money into Xiao Nanji's hand. The campus belle, Zhao's small mouth fell slightly agape, her face a picture of disbelief. The other students also stared at Yixian, completely baffled. If changing the way he addressed her wasn't telling enough, then what happened next was sufficient to show that Yixian wanted to draw a clear line between himself and the campus belle, Xiao. Amidst the complete silence, Yixian turned back around and smiled. Right, where was I? Fine. Want to play for real, don't you? Then I'll ignore you too, humph. Xiao Nanji fumed inwardly, stomped her foot, and walked back to her seat with her high ponytail swaying. Despite this, she didn't really believe that Yixian truly wanted to sever ties with her. After all, for the past year, Yixian had cared for her and doted on her with meticulous attention. This psychological inertia made her feel that it wouldn't be long before Yixian would come a coaxer. Hong Li Teo reminded him in a low voice, Yixian, I think Xiao Nanji is really angry. Yixian gave him a baffled look. So what if she's angry? What does that have to do with me? Hong Liteo could hardly believe his ears. The same person who just last week was telling him how much he liked Xiao Nanji had suddenly become indifferent to her. Had Yi Xian been possessed or something? If there was one person in the class who was the happiest at this moment, it would be the class president, Chun Ming. He was also one of Xiao Nanji's pursuers. It was just that compared to Yi Xian, he didn't even have the chance to be a sycophant. Now his opportunity had come. He quickly took out his own lunch, walked over to Xiao Nanji, and said, "Nanji, this is my lunch. You can have it." Xiao Nanji gave him an odd look. "Thank you, but I'm not hungry. Also, I'm not used to people calling me Nanji. You should just call me classmate Xiao." Chun Ming was completely bewildered. "But, you just said." Just then, Xiao Nanji's deskmate, Wang Qian, took out a bag of bread from her desk. "Nanji, I still have a bag of bread here. You can have this for now." "Qian, you're the best. I was about to starve to death. I love you." Xiao Nanji took the bread and gave Wang Qian a peck on the cheek. Chun Ming. Ring, 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 ring. When the bell for the end of class rang, the final exam was over. Didn't they say the mock exam was supposed to boost our confidence? Why was it so difficult? Yeah, this time the paper was too hard. I didn't even finish it. What did you choose for question 5 on the multiple choice section of the science composite paper? B, what about you? I chose A. I also chose B. It's over. I got another one wrong. As usual, some students gathered together to compare their answers. Hong Liteo eagerly went over, and after a short while, he walked back with a long face. Yi Xian was amused. "What's wrong?" Hong Liteo said dejectedly. "I think I messed up the exam again." "What if you messed up? It's just a mock exam." "But the college entrance exam is only a month away. What if I can't get into a university?" "If you can't get in, you can't get in. Going to university isn't the only path in life." Hong Liteo's eyes lit up. Really? The other students also became interested. The pressure from the college entrance exam was too great. They also wanted to hear what other options there were besides going to university. Even Xiao Nanji, who was still sulking at Yi Xian, couldn't help but perk up her ears. Yi Xian nodded. "Of course it's true. In the future, a university degree won't be worth much. You'd earn more working on a construction site. If you can't get into university, just go work with concrete on a construction site. I guarantee you'll have a better life than most of our classmates." Hong Liteo. The other students burst out laughing. "So working on a construction site was the other path you were talking about? You're too mean." Xiao Nanji also laughed in anger. "That guy, all he knows is how to bully Hong Liteo." University enrollment only began to expand in 1999. In 2004, university students were still quite rare. Naturally, the other students wouldn't believe that a university degree would be worthless in the future. After his confusion, Hong Liteo gave Yi Xian a universally understood hand gesture of greeting. Yi Xian chuckled. "You think I'm kidding you? Really, you have the innate physique of a concrete mixing saint. It would be a waste not to go to a construction site." Hong Liteo's family background was very ordinary. His grades were also only in the lower middle tier of the class. In his previous life, he was admitted to a third-tier university and studied civil engineering. After graduation, he went to a construction site to work with concrete. Of course, since Yi Xian had been reborn, he would definitely give his best friend a hand. In his previous life, he had been able to ensure that Hong Liteo had no worries about a car or a house. In this life, I must naturally go one step further. What does mixing concrete mean? Innate concrete mixing, saintly body. Where did Yi Xian learn such a term? That's hilarious. The classmates burst into laughter again. "Yi Xian, if you want to go to the construction site, go by yourself. Don't drag Lu Tao with you. Lu Tao, if there's anything you don't understand in the future, just come and ask me. As the class president, it's my duty to help every student improve their grades." Chun Ming, who had always been at odds with Yi Xian, stood up, patted Hong Lutao's shoulder, and said righteously. Hong Lutao immediately shook his shoulder in disgust. "Forget it, I'll just ask Yi Xian." He wasn't an idiot. How could he not see that Chun Ming was using him to put Yi Xian down? As the best friend who always protected Yi Xian during fights, he had to draw a clear line with Chun Ming immediately. Chun Ming chuckled. "It's not that you can't ask Yi Xian, but didn't he only rank 13th in the class on the last exam? There are some questions that even he probably doesn't know the answer to." Although he didn't say the rest, everyone understood his meaning. Chunming had always been second in the class, surpassed only by Xiao Nanji. When it came to academic performance, Yi Xian was indeed no match for him. Hong Lutao was instantly enraged. I'm not even bothering with you, and you're getting cocky, aren't you? But before he could explode, Yi Xian smiled and said, that's because I was hiding my strength before. Lutao, let's go. Hong Lutao nodded, grabbed his backpack, and followed Yi Xian out. Xiao Nanji suddenly grew tense. She hadn't spoken to Yi Xian in 10 hours. He should know to come and coax her by now, right? Yes, he definitely will. She knew Yi Xian, so if he asked her to go home together, should she refuse, or should she act reserved for a moment before agreeing? Just as the great school beauty Xiao was having this intense internal debate, Yi Xian walked right past her and zipped out of the classroom. Xiao Nanji. As soon as Yi Xian was gone, Chunming scoffed. Hiding his strength? He says it like it's true. He had his own buddies in the class. 2 of them immediately chimed in. I think he's just bragging. Anyway, the results of the mock exam will be out tomorrow. We'll know soon enough if he's bragging or not. Although the other students felt that they were being a bit harsh, they also didn't believe Yi Xian was hiding his strength. They had been classmates for 2 years. Everyone knew what everyone else was capable of. After a few snide remarks, Chunming noticed that Xiao Nanji still hadn't left, and his eyes lit up. He had wanted to walk the school beauty home for a long time. It was just that this pleasant task had always been monopolized by Yi Xian. Now that the 2 had broken up, wasn't this his chance? Thinking of this, he quickly walked over. Nan, classmate Xiao, you haven't left yet? Xiao Nanji looked up at him. Yeah, I want to study a bit more. Chunming, me too. Then let's leave together later. Xiao Nanji was silent for 2 seconds. What did you just say? Chunming was a little confused. I said, let's leave together later. Xiao Nanji shook her head. No, the sentence before that. Chunming didn't understand, but he answered as requested. You haven't left yet? Xiao Nanji, oh, I'm leaving now. Chunming felt a mouthful of old blood get stuck in his throat. He didn't recover until after Xiao Nanji had left the classroom. A persistent suitor can win a virtuous maiden. Classmate Xiao Nanji, I will absolutely not give up. Chunming clenched his fists, his fighting spirit rekindled. Yi Xian, were you really hiding your strength before? Yep. Then what's your true skill level? Tsinghua, Peking University, take your pick. Yi Xian, do you think I'm an idiot? It's been 3 years, Lutao. You're only realizing that now. Yi Xian, screw you. Hong Lutao was so angry that he jumped directly onto Yi Xian's back and tried to choke him. Not far behind them, Xiao Nanji saw this and couldn't help but burst out laughing. After laughing, she put on a stern face and muttered in a low voice. What's so funny? You childish oaf? You big idiot. You bad guy for ignoring me. At 8 p.m., the lights in the one high school's office building were blazing. With 1 month to go before the college entrance exams, it wasn't just the students who were tense, but the teachers of every subject as well. To get the results out by the next morning, the teachers were all working overtime grading papers. When the grades for the last subject were sent over, Zhang Guangming began to compile the statistics. Old Zhang, how did your class do? Haven't finished compiling them yet. What about your class? Compared to last time, the average score for this exam dropped by 6 points. My students are probably going to be in tears tomorrow. This mock exam was indeed quite difficult. Even Chu Ran scored 5 points lower than last time. Are Xiao Nanji's results out? Yeah, they're out. 7 points lower than last time. Zhang Guangming gave a wry smile, shook his head, and continued compiling scores. Chu Ran and Xiao Nanji had always been the top 2 in the grade. Their scores were all lower than last time, which was enough to show the difficulty of this mock exam. A few minutes later, Zhang Guangming exclaimed, this score. This can't be right, can it? The other teachers became interested. What's wrong, Teacher Zhang? Whose score is there a problem with? Yi Xian's. What's wrong with his score? You'd better come and see for yourselves. As soon as Zhang Guangming finished speaking, the other teachers crowded around. Last time's score was 602, this time 625. Hiss. Yi Xian's score is actually 23 points higher than last time. The other teachers looked at each other in disbelief. Nanji, you're home. Go wash your hands. Mom made your favorite steamed prawns and tomato braised beef brisket. Hearing the door, Hiyuron walked out of the kitchen. Oh, Xiao Nanji responded listlessly. What's wrong? Did something unhappy happen? Hiyuron took off her apron, walked over to help her daughter with her school bag, and asked with concern. It's nothing. You're pouting so much you could hang a soy sauce bottle from your lip, and you still say it's nothing? Come on, tell Mom what's bothering you. This sentence was like opening a crack in a solid dam. Xiao Nanji, who had felt wronged all day, could no longer control it. Her eyes reddened, her lip quivered, and she said in a tearful voice, Yi Xian is ignoring me. Hiyuron was stunned for a moment. Just because of that. Xiao Nanji was also stunned. Yeah, just because of that. Yi Xian was ignoring her. Wasn't that serious? Hiyuron stroked her daughter's hair and said gently, Didn't you say you didn't want to be in a relationship with him? If he's ignoring you, you should be happy. Xiao Nanji was stunned again. I didn't say I don't want to be in a relationship with him. I just said I don't want to be in one before university. Hiyuron's heart sank. Not want to date him, and not wanting to date before university. The difference between the two was huge. Last Friday, when Xiao Nanji told her about this, she thought her daughter had rejected him that way out of fear of hurting Yi Xian's pride. She was worried that Yi Xian would continue to pester Nanji, which is why she had sought him out and said those hurtful words. So, the fact that Yi Xian was ignoring Nanji was largely her fault, wasn't it? Thinking of this, Hiyuron tentatively asked, Do you like Yi Xian? Xiao Nanji panicked for some reason and flatly denied it. Who likes him? He's so childish and petty. Only a ghost would like him. Hiyuron couldn't help but smile. Since you don't like him, there's no need to be sad because he's ignoring you. Just what? It's just, I don't know, I just feel so empty inside now that he's ignoring me. In 01, new student registration. An instance of asking for directions on campus made her remember that boy who looked a bit dorky. In 02, the splitting of arts and sciences streams. That boy who often appeared by her side, trying to act cool and smiling foolishly, gradually became a sight she wanted to see every day. In 03, that boy started to actively approach her. He made her laugh, walked with her to and from school, and brought her breakfast. Being able to see that boy every day became the thing that made her happiest. It wasn't until today, when he suddenly started ignoring her, that Xiao Nanji realized this boy had, without her noticing, walked deep into her heart. Could this be what it feels like to like someone? Hiyuron was a woman of experience. Seeing this, she knew there was a high probability her daughter had fallen for Yi Xian. The college entrance exams were only a month away. What if her daughter was distracted by love and underperformed? Thinking of this, she mused, If he's ignoring you, you can approach him. If you don't know whether you like him or not, then just continue being friends for now. Wait until you're in university and you've both matured, then you can make a choice. Wouldn't that be better? Xiao Nanji looked tempted, but she quickly lifted her chin and huffed. As if I'd go looking for him, Hiyuron gave a helpless, wry smile. A mother knows her daughter best. As her mother, she knew better than anyone just how proud her daughter could be. With them giving each other the silent treatment, it really wasn't realistic to expect Nanji to approach Yi Xian first. It seems I'll have to go find Yi Xian again. Hiyuron secretly made a decision. Oh, son, you're back? The food's all ready. Go wash your hands. Mom, what did you cook? It smells so good. Your favorites, stir-fried tofu with chili peppers, pig's head meat, and I also stewed a fish. Wow, that's quite a feast. What's the occasion? The college entrance exams are coming up, aren't they? I'm helping you get your nutrition. From now on, just tell me what you want to eat, and I'll make it for you. All right. Yi Xian put down his school bag, washed his hands, and helped bring the dishes to the dining table. Did you have a mock exam today? Yeah. How did it go? It was all right. There's only 1 month left until the college entrance exams. You need to get serious. Don't drop the ball now. Don't worry, Mom. I'll definitely give you a big surprise on the exams. Io, truly Mom's good son. The family of 3 finished their dinner, talking and laughing. Yi Xian wanted to help with the dishes, but how could Wang Jiahui agree? She pushed and shoved him into his bedroom to study. 10 p.m. After Yi Jiming and his wife were both asleep, Yi Xian stealthily turned on the computer. In 2004, home computers were still a rarity. This computer was a second-hand one that Yi Jiming had bought after he had begged for a long time. A 14-inch CRT monitor, a Pentium processor, and 128 megabytes of RAM. Never mind Legend of Mir. Even playing Uncharted Waters was laggy. Yi Xian could only use it to surf the internet, log into QQ, and browse some stimulating websites. After a long wait, the system finally booted up. With an excited heart and trembling hands, Yi Xian opened a website that made countless people's blood boil. The Longwo Welfare Lottery. The Super Lotto draw was every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday at 9:25 p.m. The drawing time had already passed, and the winning amounts were announced. Super Lotto's second prize, 15 winners, each prize. 400,000. Not bad, a bit more than expected. Yi Xian nodded with satisfaction and then closed the webpage. If it were his parents who found out they had won a grand prize of 400,000, they would have been overjoyed. But Yi Xian, in his past life, was a small tycoon worth hundreds of millions. To him, 400,000 was really just pocket change. Not to mention, 20% of it would be deducted for personal income tax. I have the initial capital. What should I do next? Yi Xian stroked his chin and fell into thought. Starting from 2005, the internet industry in Longwa began to enter its golden age of development. The three giants, all began to rise during this period. So the internet industry was definitely Yi Xian's first choice. E-commerce, video entertainment, social platforms, mobile payments, live streaming, short videos, food delivery. These projects are all very expensive, and just over 300,000 is definitely not enough. Let's do a lottery draw first, see what I can get this time. Having made his decision, Yi Xian went to wash his hands. He entered the system and set the number of draws to 100. He prayed to all the gods in the heavens. Click draw. The next moment, the results of 100 draws were listed one by one. Mathematics experience book, Chinese experience book, basketball experience book, lucky aura stamina capsule. Stock market information. Looks like I got a lot of new items this time. Yi Xian's eyes lit up, and he quickly entered the system backpack to check. In the system backpack, the prizes drawn were stacked in categories. Among them, there were 67 experience books for the 6 subjects and 22 basketball experience books. Stock market information, lucky aura stamina capsule, English experience, book purchase permit, basketball experience book, skill type permanently improves basketball skills after use. Seeing this, Yi Xian almost lost it. He was a man determined to become a super tycoon. What use did he have for this? Was the system going to make him a trainee in Korea for 2.5 years next? Little system, you're showing your dark side. Lucky aura, consumable when activated. It can greatly increase one's luck for 5 minutes. Yi Xian's eyes brightened. If I use the lucky aura while drawing, can I exploit a system bug? Although the lottery was a matter of probability, in the end, it was a matter of luck. After all, the end of science is theology. Stock market information, consumable after use. You can obtain accurate rise and fall information for a stock over a future period. Hey, this is good stuff. Yi Xian was pleasantly surprised. In his previous life, he didn't play the stock market, because in his view, there was no big difference between retail investors playing the stock market and gambling. But with stock market information, it was like knowing the future. If he were to trade stocks now, it would be a guaranteed profit. With good maneuvering, wouldn't he have the startup capital to enter the internet industry? Tomorrow, I'll find a way to take a day off, go to the lottery center to redeem the ticket, and then go to the stock exchange to open an account. After making a plan in his mind, Yi Xian first clicked to use the English experience book purchase permit. Like the mathematics experience book, the price of the English experience book was also 100 karma points per book. Then he used all the experience books and stamina capsules. In the next instant, his knowledge points in the 6 subjects increased. A number of basketball moves and skills flooded his mind, forming muscle memory at the same time. A warm current flowed through his body, and his physical fitness increased. Host, Yi Xian. Physical fitness. Brain power. Charisma. Karma value, 174. Items. Rejuvenation water, X3. Luck aura, X3. Stock market information, X1. Adhering to the principles of not pushing one's luck to the limit and quitting while ahead. Yixian did not use up all his remaining karma value. After checking his personal attributes, he exited the system and went to bed. Chunming was the first to arrive at the classroom, placing a carefully prepared breakfast on Xiao Nanji's desk. A persistent suitor can win over the fiercest lady. Classmate Chunming, you can do it. After psyching himself up, Chunming returned to his own seat. As he waited with eager anticipation, a few minutes later, Xiao Nanji, wearing a blue and white school uniform with her hair in a high ponytail, walked into the classroom. She first scanned the room, and only after not spotting Yixian did she look towards her own seat. Oh, what's this? Xiao Nanji was taken aback for a moment, then quickly walked to her seat and picked up the breakfast. That guy, Yixian, has he finally learned how to cheer me up? The corners of Xiao Nanji's mouth couldn't help but curve up slightly. Chunming, who had been secretly watching her, was instantly moved to tears. The breakfast he gave made the school beauty smile. This meant he had done the right thing. In his excitement, he was about to go and claim credit from the school beauty. Just then, Yixian and Hong Liteo walked into the classroom, talking and laughing. Xiao Nanji quickly wiped the smile from her face, stood up to meet them, and said with feigned casualness, "Didn't you say you wouldn't buy me breakfast anymore?" Yixian was stunned at first, then looked down at the breakfast in her hand, his expression gradually turning strange. "This breakfast? It looks pretty good. I like a lot. I didn't buy it." Xiao Nanji was completely bewildered. Yixian couldn't help but smile. "I really didn't buy it. Look, I haven't even put my bag down yet." Hong Liteo also helped explain, "I can vouch for Yixian on this. We just got a class." The great school beauty Xiao was already embarrassed enough. The explanation from these two was like landing a critical hit on top of the original damage. It wasn't over. Chunming seized the opportunity and walked over. "Nah, classmate Xiao, I bought this breakfast." Xiao Nanji took a deep breath and turned to look at Chunming. If looks could kill, Class President Chun would probably be riddled with 1,000 holes by now. However, Chunming completely failed to notice the murderous intent in the great school beauty Zhao's eyes. He continued to take credit. "You said you liked it a lot. I'm so happy. I'll continue to buy it for you in the future." "You must have misheard. I clearly said I didn't like it," Xiao Nanji said with a deadpan expression, then turned to glance at Hong Liteo. "Liteo, you tell him what I just said." Hong Liteo really wanted to be like the sages of old, unyielding in the face of power. But the great school beauty Zhao's glare was too terrifying. For the sake of his own life, he could only say against his conscience, "You did indeed say you didn't like it." Xiao Nanji nodded in satisfaction, turned, and shoved the breakfast into Chunming's hands. "See? You really did mishear. Also, I'm not used to eating breakfast bought by others. Don't do this kind of thing again." Chunming was on the verge of questioning his own existence. Did he really mishear? Did he just have a hallucination? "Yixian, did you see that just now?" Xiao Nanji's aura was so intense. After returning to his seat, Hong Liteo was still a bit shaken. Yixian chuckled. "Was it? I didn't feel it." Hong Liteo gave him the middle finger. "Nonsense. In all of Class 5? No. Among all the boys in the entire no. One high school, Xiao Nanji is only not so cold and icy in front of you." Yixian's heart skipped a beat, and memories of the past once again surged in his mind. "Like it a lot. Don't like it. Like it a lot. Don't like it. Did I really mishear?" After returning to his seat, Chunming kept muttering these words over and over. After a long while, he clenched his fists. A persistent suitor can win over the fiercest lady. "Classmate Xiao Nanji, I will not give up." Just as he was giving himself a pep talk, the head teacher, Zhang Guangming, walked in. The noisy classroom instantly descended into a chaotic scramble. Once all the students had returned to their seats, Zhang Guangming said, "The results from yesterday's mock exam are out." All the students held their breath, their nervousness skyrocketing. Compared to the last exam, everyone's scores have dropped quite a bit this time. The average score fell by a full 11. 8 points. As soon as Zhang Guangming finished speaking, a wave of wails erupted in the classroom. "What? No way. It dropped that much. Yesterday's test was too hard." However, Zhang Guangming paused. Only after the classroom fell silent again did he say, "Here, I want to give special praise to one student." While the scores of other students have declined to varying degrees, his scores have actually made great progress. Who's that awesome? Is it the class president? It must be Xiao Nanji. She's always been first in our class. Xiao Nanji's scores are already near the top. There's limited room for improvement. I think it's Chun Ming. Right, I think it's Chun Ming too. Amidst the whispers, most of the students looked towards Chun Ming. Even Xiao Nanji turned her head to glance at Chun Ming. The corners of Chun Ming's mouth turned up. After glancing back smugly at Yi Xian, before he could even turn back around, he heard the head teacher say, "This student is Yi Xian." Chun Ming instantly froze on the spot. What? Who did the teacher say? Yi Xian? No way. The other students were also stunned by this name, because this was far too beyond their expectations. Yi Xian, the Yi Xian who usually found it difficult to even get into the top 10 in the class. He had actually made great progress when everyone else had done poorly. Xiao Nanji's small mouth also fell slightly open in surprise, and she kept looking back. After her surprise, she suddenly remembered what Yi Xian had said yesterday. Could it be? He was really hiding his strength. Not only had the great campus beauty Xiao thought of this, Hong Liteo also thought of it. Damn, Yi Xian, you weren't actually hiding your strength, were you? Yi Xian shrugged his shoulders. Don't get so excited. This time I was just testing the waters. Last night he had eaten another 67 experience books for the 6 subjects. His score on the next mock exam would definitely increase by another level. Hong Liteo's eyes widened. What? You mean you didn't even use your full strength this time? Yi Xian nodded. That's right. I was afraid of scaring you guys. Keep bragging. Although Hong Liteo said this, he felt a little uncertain. From what he knew of Yi Xian, he could tell that Yi Xian didn't seem to be joking. Amidst the gasps of surprise, Zhang Guangming took out the report card. Now I will announce the scores of the top 10 students in the class. The classroom instantly fell silent. Chun Ming also perked up again. First place, Xiao Nanji, 662 points, 7 points lower than last time. Xiao Nanji was a little annoyed. Second place, Chun Ming, 648 points. Phew, Chun Ming breathed a sigh of relief. So what if Yi Xian had improved a lot? Wasn't second place still is? Fifth place, Yi Xian, 625 points. Hiss, what? Yi Xian is 5th in the class. Last time he was 13th. And this time he shot straight to 5th. After Yi Xian's score was announced, another wave of gasps erupted in the class. Chun Ming's face turned ugly again. Although he was still second this time, Yi Xian was only 23 points behind him. If he remembered correctly, in the last exam, he was more than 60 points higher than Yi Xian. Could this guy have really been hiding his strength? His 2 cronies' faces instantly flushed red. Yesterday, they had said Yi Xian was just bragging. Today, they were slapped in the face by Yi Xian. Humiliating, so damn humiliating. 625 points. He has a hope of getting into a 985 university. If he can improve by another 40 points, he could apply to the same university as me. Xiao Nanji's beautiful eyes lit up, but they quickly dimmed again. There were only 29 days left until the college entrance exam. To improve by 40 points in such a short time was almost, no, it should be completely impossible. After announcing the scores, Zhang Guangming gave the students some more words of encouragement. Now he heard that Yi Xian was going on TV. In the span of a single morning, he had been struck by a triple blow from cruel reality. After the depression, even the toughest woman can't resist a persistent suitor. Chun Ming, you can do it. Chun Ming clenched his fists, his gaze becoming determined once again. 9:40 a.m. at the entrance of One High School's main auditorium. With his hair slicked back, wearing a white shirt and leather shoes polished to a shine, Gue Jianshou was spiritedly directing the first and second year students inside. At today's award ceremony, not only were there people from the Mingchang Branch Police Station and the TV station, but even leaders from the Education Bureau would be present. As the dean of students, he naturally had to keep the discipline on-site firmly under control. Meanwhile, Yi Xian came out of his classroom and ran towards the main auditorium. From a distance, he saw Gue Jianshou standing at the entrance, directing traffic. He immediately sucked his teeth. How did I run into this guy again? The scene from yesterday, when he had claimed his name, was by Yuntao, was still fresh in his mind. If he went over now, Gue Jiancho would definitely recognize him. After a moment of hesitation, Yi Xian braced himself and joined the back of the crowd, lining up to go inside. Just as he was about to reach the entrance. That student, the one at the very back. You stop. As expected, I'm like a firefly in the night, so bright, so outstanding. Yi Xian sighed and pretended to look up in confusion. Teacher, are you calling me? Gue Jiancho sized him up for a moment, then frowned. Aren't you Bai Yun? Yi Xian put on a pleasantly surprised expression. You know me? Gue Jiancho gave him a look like he was an idiot. We just met yesterday. Aren't you from class 7 of the 3rd year? Yi Xian feigned sudden realization. Oh, you must be talking about my older brother. Your brother? Yeah, my brother Bai Yuntao is in class 7 of the 3rd year. Then you are. My name is Bai Yunsheng. We're twin brothers. Gue Jiancho was completely bluffed, so you're also a 3rd year student? I was mischievous in elementary school and had to repeat a grade, so I'm in the 2nd year now. After saying this, Yi Xian glanced at the entrance. Teacher, all my classmates have gone in, so if you don't mind. Gue Jiancho waved his hand. All right, you should get in there too. Mind the discipline. You got it. After Yi Xian's figure disappeared through the doorway, Gue Jiancho stroked his chin and muttered to himself, Bai Yuntao. Bai Yunsheng. The sound of the waves remains, This family is quite interesting. Yi Xian, you're finally here. In the front row of the auditorium, Zhang Guangming, who had been waiting for a long time, waved to Yi Xian. When he approached, he immediately began to introduce him to the other school leaders and teachers. Just then, having finished directing traffic, Gue Jiancho walked in with his hands behind his back. Along the way, he kept reminding the students, keep quiet, pay attention to the auditorium discipline. After finishing his reminders, he turned his head and saw Yi Xian surrounded by his colleagues. He was a bit stunned. Why was this Bai Yunsheng so popular with the teachers? At that moment, Zhang Guangming also saw Gue Jiancho and quickly said with a smile, Director Qian, let me introduce you. This is the hero who saved the victim from the rainy night maniac, Yi Xian. Gue Jiancho. Gue Jiancho was completely dumbfounded. Didn't you freaking tell me your name was Bai Yunsheng? Now you've transformed into the heroic Yi Xian. So all that stuff about Bai Yuntao, twin brothers, and repeating a grade was all just to freaking fool me. How dare this kid? Just as he was stunned, Yi Xian greeted him with a perfectly harmless smile. Hello, Director Qian. He and Gue Jiancho had a bit of a personal grudge between them. A year ago, he and Hong Liteo were fooling around on campus and got caught by Gue Jiancho, who gave them a stern lecture. At that time, Yi Xian swore that he would get his own back someday. Of course, with Yi Xian's personality, he never fought a battle he wasn't prepared for. He had already thought it all through when he was tricking Gue Jiancho. With his heroic deeds, he would definitely be promoted as a model student by one high school and even the Education Bureau. Especially today, with people from the Mingcheng Branch Police, the Education Bureau, and the TV station all present. Unless Gue Jiancho was insane, he would definitely have to swallow this bitter pill for now. As for the future, he was about to graduate soon. What future was there to worry about? Enjoy the moment first. Just as he had predicted, Gue Jiancho's expression changed several times before he finally squeezed out a smile and said, Student Yi Xian, you are the pride of our school. I am proud to have a student like you at now. One high. After speaking, he even patted Yi Xian on the shoulder. After some pleasantries, everyone took their seats. A few minutes later, the award ceremony began. After nearly an hour of speeches from the leaders, Yi Xian went on stage. Chen Wu, the school leaders, and the head of the Education Bureau shook his hand one by one. Then, a hostess carrying a tray walked onto the stage. Yi Xian glanced over and saw that besides the Good Samaritan certificate and a silk banner, there were also 2 large checks. One for 50,000, the other for 2,000. The 50,000 must be the reward money, and the 2,000. Could that be the Good Samaritan Award? Yi Xian mused to himself. Student Yi Xian, I've done what I promised. Now don't go looking for little Zhang. Chen Wu took the checks, handed them to Yi Xian, and said jokingly. Yi Xian looked bewildered. Chen Wu laughed heartily. Yesterday, little Zhang came back and complained to me, saying that if I didn't apply for the reward money for you, you and Big Sister Wong were going to go after him. Yi Xian finally remembered. Director Chun, we were just joking back then. Did Officer Zhang actually take it seriously? You bet he did. He was scared to death, couldn't even sleep well last night. Chun Wu's expression was exaggerated. He was clearly kidding. Yi Xian was amused. So you're giving me the reward money because you were afraid I'd go after Officer Zhang? Looks like I did the right thing after all. You brat. Chun Wu pointed a finger at him, then turned to take a commemorative photo with him. Below the stage, all the teachers, including Gue Jianqiu, were somewhat shocked and uncertain. Chun Wu was one of the top 5 figures in Mingxing. Even the principal had to be slightly reserved in his presence. Yet Yi Xian could chat and laugh so freely with him. Could it be that Yi Xian was Chun Wu's relative? Gue Jianqiu, who had originally planned to find a chance to discipline Yi Xian in the future, began to have second thoughts. After the award ceremony, Yi Xian was invited backstage for an interview with Mingxing Television. Just as he walked in, a graceful beauty approached him. Student Yi Xian, I'm Du Bing, the host of Good Deeds in Mingxiang. Du Bing. That name sounded a little familiar. A glint appeared in Yi Xian's eyes, and he quickly recalled. Du Bing was the #1 beauty and host at Mingxing Television. In his previous life, she was pursued by a local rich second-generation heir. After getting to know him for a while, she discovered he had character flaws and rejected him. As a result, the heir flew into a rage from the humiliation and stabbed her at the entrance of the television station. She was rushed to the hospital but died after emergency treatment failed. At the time, the incident caused a huge uproar online, and because it happened in Yi Xian's hometown, it left a very deep impression on him. If I can prevent this from happening, will I be able to obtain karma points as a reward? Thinking of this, Yi Xian's mind began to wander. Who were the other celebrities from his past life who had unhappy relationships or marriages? Brother Chong was definitely one. Brother Liang had to be one too. Brother Fei could barely count as one. That's quite a few. If he interfered with all of them, wouldn't he be given the nickname the relationship wrecker? Student Yi Xian? Seeing him space out right after coming in, Du Bing couldn't help but prompt him. Yi Xian quickly collected his thoughts. Sorry, I was just thinking about a math problem. Counting heads is a kind of math problem, nothing wrong with that. Du Bing smiled sweetly. It seems student Yi Xian studies very hard. As a #1 beauty and host of Mingxing Television, she was dressed very professionally. A white shirt, a silver-gray pencil skirt, nude-colored stockings, and white high heels. The outfit perfectly outlined her fine figure, revealing a hint of allure amidst her intellectual charm. Yi Xian smiled. It's all right. The college entrance exams are in less than a month, so I have to be on my toes. After some warm-up chat, the interview officially began. Student Yi Xian, do you have any hobbies or special talents? My hobbies are singing, dancing, rap, and basketball. Du Bing's beautiful eyes lit up. Rap? Could you perform a piece for us? Yi Xian, I was just making a meme reference. Why did you take it seriously? Fine, if you're going to take it seriously, couldn't you at least have asked me to show off some basketball skills? I'm actually decent at that. Is it difficult? Du Bing pressed. Yi Xian shook his head. Not at all. In that case, I'll perform a rap I wrote myself. You can write songs too. Du Bing was very surprised. The cameraman was also surprised. In Longhua, rap was an extremely niche genre of music. Few people could even perform it, let alone write it. Yi Xian nodded. I wouldn't say I'm good at it. I just write for fun. Du Bing, then I'm all ears. Yi Xian cleared his throat and began to sing. I always cram at the last minute. I'll just casually get into any university. I always cram at the last minute. My grades are better than the class president's. Du Bing, the cameraman, how is this writing for fun? You've pioneered a brand new style of rap. You're so damn awesome. As an experienced host, not breaking into laughter was the most basic professional conduct. After a brief moment of being stunned, Du Bing composed herself. This song has a great rhythm. It's very refreshing. Then, without waiting for Yi Xian to reply, she changed the subject. So, what is your special talent? Yi Xian pondered for 2 seconds. Rapid mental calculation? Du Bing's interest was piqued. Can I test you then? Yi Xian nodded. Sure. 367 times 758? The moment Du Bing finished speaking, Yixian answered, 260934. Du Bing and the cameraman were both stunned. He answered in less than 0.1 seconds. He's a mental math genius. But when Du Bing calculated the correct result on paper, she was completely dumbfounded. Student Yixian, the answer you gave doesn't seem to be correct. But was it fast? Yixian said with a straight face. Du Bing burst out laughing. Before the interview began, she had thought Yixian was the type of upright young man with a strong sense of justice. Someone who was normally stern and serious, only speaking up to decry injustice when he encountered it. After this brief interaction, she realized she couldn't have been more wrong. This guy was simply hilarious. Seeing the beautiful host laughing so happily, Yixian was quite pleased himself. She was a walking causal value extractor. He had to establish a long-term connection with her. If he had just gone through the interview conventionally, the chances of them contacting each other again would be practically zero. But after this little stunt of his, the possibility had increased significantly. After she finished laughing, Du Bing got back to the main topic. To most people in Mingcheng, the rainy night maniac is synonymous with ferocity and terror. When you accidentally stumbled upon him in the act, was the situation very dangerous? Yixian straightened his expression and said, the situation at the time looked very dangerous, and in reality, it wasn't the least bit safe. Du Bing. Cameraman. Chapter 014. What kind of cursed fate is this? The interview is about to end. As a student about to take the college entrance exams, is there anything you'd like to say to the other examinees? Backstage in the grand auditorium, Du Bing asked the final question of the interview. Yixian mulled it over for a few seconds. I'll just say one sentence. Du Bing. And what is that? Yixian. With the outcome undecided, we could all be dark horses. Du Bing's eyes lit up. That line from Jinten is a truly perfect way to encourage the examinees. Yixian was a little surprised. Although Jinten was listed as one of the 3 marvelous books, not many people had actually read it. It was far from being as popular as the 4 great classical novels. Back in 2004, the phrase, with the outcome undecided, we could all be dark horses, had not yet become popular. Yet the beautiful host was able to name its source without hesitation. This woman's literary knowledge was quite high. Du Bing lifted her chin smugly, thinking to herself, I'm not just a decorative vase. You know, she wasn't just Mingxing TV's #1 beauty, but also its #1 talent. Earlier, Yixian had shown off his sense of humor. Now, it was her turn to showcase her literary talents. After the interview, Yixian asked when it would air. Du Bing smiled. We'll do some editing back at the station, and it will air tonight at 8 p.m. on Good Things in Mingxing. Thank you for the interview, student Yixian. See you again if fate decrees. As she spoke, she took the initiative to shake his hand. Not even leaving a way to contact her, Yixian grumbled internally but smiled and nodded. See you again if fate decrees. After they left, he sighed. Du Bing. Oh, Du Bing, whether or not you can change your fate will really depend on whether our paths are destined to cross again. After muttering to himself, he picked up the bag containing the certificate, pennant, and check, and walked out of the auditorium. He looked at the time. It was 11:45. No point in going back right now. I'll have a smoke first. With that thought, Yixian found a deserted spot in the shade, took out a cigarette, lit it, and began to puff clouds of smoke. Although he was audacious, this was a school, after all. To avoid being caught by a teacher, he kept a constant watch on his surroundings. Just as he was halfway through the cigarette, a shadow appeared around the corner. Yixian's eyebrow twitched, and he hurriedly dropped the cigarette. He had just used his foot to scuff some dirt over the butt to bury it when the figure of Gue Jian Cho appeared from around that same corner. The moment their eyes met, Gue Jian Cho grinned. He had been plotting how to get back at Yixian. He never thought he'd catch him in the act so soon. Smoking at school, a public notice of criticism. That wasn't going too far, was it? Yixian was amused, too, bumping into each other 3 times in 2 days. What kind of cursed fate was this? Director Qian, we meet again. Yixian greeted him proactively. Gue Jian Cho nodded with a smile that didn't reach his eyes, then frowned. Why do I smell smoke here? As he spoke, he moved to smell Yixian's breath. But Yixian was a step ahead. He pulled out a piece of Wrigley's gum and popped it into his mouth before saying, Right, I smell it too. The smoke smell is so strong, it's gotten all over me. A corner of Gui Jian Chao's mouth twitched. He stopped and said, "Finished with the interview?" "Yeah, just finished." "What are you doing here?" "I smelled smoke and came over to see who it was." "See who it was?" "Not really. They probably heard me coming and ran off." The two exchanged questions and answers rapidly, with almost no pause in between. Seeing that Yi Xian wasn't taking the bait, Gui Jian Cho took a pack of Hongdashan cigarettes from his pocket, pulled one out, and handed it over. Yi Xian quickly waved his hands. "Director Qian, I don't smoke." Gui Jian Cho smiled. "No, just hold this for me for a second. I need to tie my shoelace." A glint flashed in Yi Xian's eyes. He accepted the cigarette, holding it like a pen. Gui Jian Chao's pupils contracted. He made a show of tying his shoelaces. When he stood up, Yi Xian was about to hand the cigarette back to him. But Gui Jian Cho pulled out a cell phone from his pocket. "Take a look, see if there's something wrong with my phone." As he spoke, he passed the phone over. Yi Xian quickly shoved the cigarette into his school uniform pocket to free up his hands to take the phone. Gui Jian Cho, who had been hoping he would tuck the cigarette behind his ear, felt a pang of frustration. This kid is as sharp as a monkey. He won't fall for it. It doesn't look like there's anything wrong. Should I try making a call? Gui Jian Cho quickly took the phone back. "Never mind. I'll ask someone else to look at it." "Where's my cigarette?" Yi Xian said, "Oh," and pulled the Hongdashan cigarette from his pocket. Gui Jian Cho took it, stuck in his mouth, and then began to pretend to look for a lighter. An ordinary person would probably have pulled out a lighter to help him by now. But Yi Xian was a reincarnator. If he got tricked by such a clumsy ploy, he might as well go find a block of tofu to smash his head against. "Don't have a light? How about I go borrow one for you?" Yi Xian asked, suppressing a smile. Gui Jian Chao's mouth twitched. He waved his hand. "Forget it, I won't smoke. You should hurry back to class." "All right then. Goodbye, Director Qian." Only after Yi Xian's figure had disappeared around the corner did Gui Jian Cho pull a lighter from his jacket pocket. Click, puff, exhaling a smoke ring. Gui Jian Cho mused to himself with a sigh. This kid, he's really something else. Just as Yi Xian was about to reach the entrance of the academic building, he happened to run into Zhang Guangming, who had been looking for him. "I was just about to look for you. Xiao Nanji's mother called me a moment ago. She said she has something to discuss with you and is waiting for you at the school gate." Yi Xian was stunned. What does she want with me? He had already drawn a clear line between himself and Xiao Nanji. Zhang Guangming shook his head. "She didn't say on the phone. You should hurry over." "Okay." Just as Yi Xian was about to leave, he suddenly remembered something. "By the way, Teacher Zhang, I'd like to ask for leave this afternoon to take these things home." As he spoke, he lifted the bag in his hand. Zhang Guangming slapped his forehead. "Right, you should take that home right away. Do you need me to go with you?" This was a huge sum of 52,000 yuan. He was afraid Yi Xian would get mugged on the way. "No need, I can manage on my own. I'm off." Yi Xian waved his hand and dashed towards the school gate like a wisp of smoke. From a distance, he could see a red sedan parked at the entrance. Yi Xian knew this was He Yurong's car, a BMW 318i. In 2004, the number of cars in Dragon Country was 27. 42 million. Among them, the number of private cars was 6 million. In other words, out of 3 billion people, fewer than 6 million families could afford a private car. And the price of a BMW 318i back then was 348,000 yuan, costing nearly 400,000 out the door. Calculated based on the local average salary of 1,500 yuan, an ordinary person would have to work for 22 years without eating or drinking to afford one. It was a luxury car through and through. As Yi Xian ran towards the gate, He Yurong got out of the car and waved. "Xiao Yi, over here." Yi Xian smiled and nodded. "You were looking for me?" A flash of light passed through He Yurong's eyes. This kid, he's not even calling me Annie anymore. Knowing she was in the wrong, she continued in a soft voice. "Yes. I didn't interrupt your class, did I?" Yi Xian nodded. "Of course you did." He Yurong was momentarily at a loss for how to continue. Chapter 015. Shink Electronics, a 25% rise. That was just Yi Xian's temperament. He would only return a tenfold courtesy to those who showed him a fraction of respect. He Yurong had already told him to his face that he wasn't good enough for Xiao Nanji, so there was no need for him to be pleasant to her. The atmosphere instantly became awkward. After a long moment, Hiyurong finally forced a smile. Still angry with Auntie? Yi Xian smiled, but didn't say anything. Hiyurong continued, Xiao Yi, actually, I've always thought you were a great kid. You're handsome, cheerful, outgoing, and you get good grades. Yi Xian was a little confused. Last time, didn't she say he wasn't good enough for Xiao Nanji? Why was she suddenly showering him with praise? Auntie was afraid you were in a puppy-love relationship that would affect your college entrance exam scores. To make you two break it off cleanly, I said what I did last time. Thinking back, I was only focused on the issue of you dating too young and completely ignored your self-respect. I was terribly wrong. Auntie would like to apologize to you here. As she said this, Hiyurong bowed to Yi Xian. Yi Xian's expression changed, and he quickly reached out to help her up. Auntie, please don't do this. I don't deserve it. Hiyurong teased. So you're willing to call me Annie again? Yi Xian rubbed his nose. You've already gone this far. If I still didn't call you Annie, wouldn't that make me seem unreasonable? Whether she was telling the truth or not, he would put that aside for now. At least she had shown an attitude of admitting her mistake. She had even, as an elder, bowed and apologized to him, a junior. So he had to make sure things weren't awkward between them on the surface. Then can you go back to how you were with Nanji before? Hiyurong asked. Yi Xian paused for a moment. You came to find me just for this? This was the complete opposite of what he had guessed. Hiyurong nodded. Yes, you ignored Nanji yesterday, and she was in very low spirits. Yi Xian looked bewildered. Auntie, are you mistaken? I didn't ignore her. We even spoke this morning. Besides, Xiao Nanji was a proud little princess. Even if he really did ignore her, would she be in low spirits? Impossible. This time, it was Hiyurong's turn to be stunned. She could tell that Yi Xian didn't seem to be lying. But Nanji's state yesterday wasn't fake either. Yi Xian, I just told her I wouldn't be buying her breakfast anymore. Hiyurong finally understood. There was a huge difference in how men and women perceive emotional matters. To a boy, as long as both parties could still talk normally, it meant they were still on speaking terms. But to a girl, when a boy who bought her breakfast every day suddenly said he wouldn't anymore, that was tantamount to ignoring her. So, on this matter, neither Yi Xian nor Nanji had lied. After feeling caught between laughter and tears, Hiyurong took a box out of her bag. I heard from Nanji that you've always wanted a phone of your own. This is a Nokia 7610 I just bought. See if you like it. Yi Xian's eyes flashed. Auntie, are you giving this phone to me? The 7610 was a new model Nokia released in '04, priced at 4,999 yuan. Calculated with today's purchasing power, its value was even higher than a top-of-the-line fruit phone of later generations. Hiyurong was truly a successful woman worth millions. She was very generous. That's right, Nanji has a red one, so I specifically bought a blue one for you to make it easier for you two to stay in touch. Besides, you'll definitely need a phone when you go to university. I've bought it for you, which will save your parents the expense. As she spoke, Hiyurong tried to press the box into Yi Xian's hands. She had two purposes for giving Yi Xian the phone. One was to make up for her previous mistake. The second was what she had just said, to make it easier for Nanji and Yi Xian to contact each other. This would help regulate Nanji's emotions, allowing her to face the college entrance exam in the best state of mind. Yi Xian quickly took a step back and smiled. You're too kind. I do want a phone, but what I want more is to earn the money myself to buy the things I like. So please, take this phone back. Hiyurong gave a wry smile. Little Yi, don't misunderstand. Annie isn't saying you can't afford a phone. It's just... The corners of Yi Xian's mouth turned up. Is Annie afraid of hurting my self-respect again? Hiyurong was silent for a moment before finally nodding. A little. Given Yi Xian's family circumstances, a 4,999 yuan phone was indeed a valuable item. The reasons she had just listed were all to protect his self-esteem. Yi Xian shook his head with a smile. Please don't overthink it. I won't be so easily offended over something like this. And don't worry about Nanji. I'll continue to treat her as a friend. I have some things to take care of at home, so I have to go. I'm off. After saying goodbye, he turned and left with a smile. Little Yi, don't tell Nanji I came to find you. Don't worry, Auntie. Watching Yi Xian's retreating figure, Hiyurong shook her head and sighed repeatedly. In her eyes, Yi Xian's refusal of the phone was just a little boy's pride acting up. To put it nicely, it was self-respect and self-reliance. To put it bluntly, he was too concerned with saving face and didn't know how to use his resources. In today's society, men who are too concerned with face will have a hard time succeeding. Driver to the Golden Dragon building. After turning the corner, Yi Xian waved down a taxi. The Mingcheng Welfare Lottery Center was right next to the Golden Dragon building. He didn't state his real destination because he was afraid of being followed. The driver glanced at Yi Xian's one high school uniform and smiled. Isn't it Tuesday? Skipping class. Yi Xian chuckled. Listen to you, I'm the famous model student from miles around. I'm even going to be on Mingcheng TV tonight. Would I do something like skipping class? Whoa, for real. The driver was clearly skeptical. It's true. The rainy night psycho got caught. You know that, right? Yeah, I know, it's all over Mingcheng. Then do you know who helped the police catch him? It couldn't have been you, could it? Hey, you actually guessed right. It was me. Whoa. Half an hour later, Yi Xian, who had been shooting the breeze with the driver the whole way, paid and got out of the car. Before leaving, he shouted, Uncle Zhao, remember to watch Good Deeds in Mingcheng at 8 tonight. You got it. I guarantee I'll be watching. As soon as Yi Xian closed the car door, the driver, old Zhao, scoffed, If you can get on Good Deeds in Mingcheng, then I can get on the national news. These young kids nowadays, they sure know how to brag. Yi Xian first entered the shopping mall in the Golden Dragon building and bought a new set of clothes to change into. After cashing in his prize from the lottery center, he went to the nearby Bank of Longhua, cashed the check, and deposited it into his own bank card. Next, he hailed another cab and headed to the stock exchange to open an account. After opening the account, he stood in front of the large screen in the trading hall. While watching the market, he entered the system, selected a piece of stock market information, and clicked Use. From 10 a.m. on May 9th to 3 p.m. on May 11th, the stock price of Xinka Electronics will experience a 25% surge. A 25% surge. Yi Xian's eyes lit up. He now had 372,000 in capital. Of this, 320,000 was from the lottery prize, 50,000 was reward money, and 2,000 was a Good Samaritan award. He only kept 22,000 for emergencies, transferring the remaining 350,000 into his securities trading account. Today was May 8th. As long as he went all in on Xinka Electronics stock before 10 a.m. tomorrow and sold before 3 p.m. on the 11th, he could make a profit of around 87,500. With that money, he could buy 17 Nokia 7610s. Using his parents' salaries as a reference, this amount was equal to their combined income for nearly 2 years, and it would only take him 3 days to earn it. This was the stock market. However, this pace of making money is still too slow. Yi Xian only had 5 pieces of stock market information. Who knows when he would draw this again? Therefore, for every piece of information, he had to maximize the returns. Young man, you play the stocks too? At that moment, an old man next to him struck up a conversation. Yi Xian nodded. Yes, sir. How long have you been playing? Just started. Take an old man's advice. The waters of the stock market run too deep. You can't handle it. Get out while you can. Yi Xian was amused. Listening to you, it sounds like you can handle it. The old man chuckled. I'm not bragging, but I, Lu Dezhu, have been navigating the stock market for 5.5 years. I've seen more than my share of big scenes. If you really want to play the stocks, I could show you the ropes. Really? Then could you first tell me how to use leverage? The method Yi Xian had just thought of was to use leverage. With 370,000 in capital, 10x leverage could control 7 million in funds. The problem was, he had never traded stocks in his previous life and didn't know the specific procedure for using leverage. Lu Dezhu was startled. You want to use leverage? Yi Xian nodded. Yeah, is it difficult? Lu Dezhu sucked his teeth. It's not a matter of whether it's difficult or not. Look, take an old man's advice. Go find a job outside and stop dreaming of getting rich from stock trading. Is leverage something an ordinary person can play with? One wrong move and you could lose everything. How many people have jumped off buildings because they played like that? Yi Xian looked like he had just graduated from high school at most. Trading stocks at this age, and with leverage on top of that, was no different from seeking death. All right, then. By the way, sir, I think Xinka Electronics has a lot of potential. You could give it a try. Yi Xian could sense the other party's goodwill and immediately returned the favor. Of course, since it involved the system, he could only be a bit vague to avoid unnecessary trouble. Lu Dezhu laughed. Young man, didn't I tell you you can't handle it? I've been holding Xinka Electronics for a month and lost 2,000 yuan. I sold it all this morning, 20,000 shares. Yi Xian. What else could he say? He couldn't exactly force the guy to buy Xinka Electronics, could he? It's all fate. Just then, a beautiful woman in professional attire walked over. Excuse me, are you Mr. Yi? Yi Xian glanced at her. And you are? This woman looked to be in her late 20s, her looks on par with Du Bing. Black stockings, black high heels, paired with a black pencil skirt. She was tall and slender with a graceful figure, exuding the air of an office lady. The moment she appeared in the hall, the uncles and old men stopped staring at the market board and all started sneaking glances at her. Let me introduce myself. My name is Chun Shui, and I'm an investment manager at Qingtai Securities. You just opened a securities trading account with our company, so I came over to say hello. This is my business card. Chun Shui handed the business card to Yi Xian with both hands. An 18-year-old boy who transferred in 350,000 in cash, right after opening an account, must be the young master of some wealthy family. So, after hearing the report from her colleague at the counter, she immediately came to find Yi Xian to build a relationship. Yi Xian nodded, took the card, and asked, "Does your company offer leverage trading?" Chun Shui's beautiful eyes lit up. "Yes, we do. If it's convenient for you, Mr. Yi, we can discuss in my office." Yi Xian nodded and followed her inside. Watching the two of them walk away, Lu Dezhu couldn't help but shake his head and sigh. Good advice is lost on a dying man. A few minutes later, Yi Xian followed Chun Shui into an office. "I have coffee, Longjing tea, and black tea. What would you like to drink, Mr. Yi?" Chun Shui asked after closing the door. Yi Xian glanced around at the room's furnishings. "Longjing. All right, please have a seat." Chun Shui brewed the tea, placed it in front of Yi Xian, and then pulled up a chair to sit across from him. "What do you do, Mr. Yi? What do you think I do?" Yi Xian asked back with a smile. Chun Shui shook her head with a wry smile. I can't tell." She could only infer from Yi Xian's account information that he might be the young master of a wealthy family. As for what he actually did, she really couldn't guess. It was no exaggeration to say that this was the first time she had ever met someone like Yi Xian. Although he was only 18, the aura he projected was that of a successful man. The kind of confidence that radiated from his bones was something not even some prominent bosses necessarily possessed. Yi Xian took a sip of tea and smiled. "If I told you I was still a high school student, would you believe me?" Chun Shui's red lips parted slightly as she let out a stifled laugh. "Mr. Yi, you must be joking." His age did indeed resemble that of a high school student. But what high school student could possess such a mature temperament? Seeing her disbelief, Yi Xian didn't explain further and got straight to the point. "I want to use leverage. Please explain the process to me." "Of course. Actually, using leverage is very simple." Through Chun Shui's explanation, Yi Xian finally understood the specific process of using leverage. "So, you're saying if I want 10x leverage, I need to set aside a 10% margin." "That's right, sir. Your understanding is spot on." Yi Xian pondered for a moment. "All right, then I'll put up 350,000 for a 10x leverage." "That's 5 million. Chun Shui was startled by the number. After a few seconds, she nodded. "In that case, I can offer you a 5% annual interest rate." Using leverage was, to put it bluntly, a loan, and interest had to be paid to the brokerage. The formula for calculating the interest on leverage was also very simple. Loan amount x leverage multiple x interest rate. Taking this case as an example, Yi Xian was borrowing 5 million. The leverage multiple was 10x, and the annual interest rate was 5%. If he were to repay the loan a year later, he would have to pay the brokerage 75 million in interest. Of course, if Yi Xian only borrowed it for 3 days, the interest would be calculated based on the daily rate, which would be around 4,666 yuan. Additionally, leverage trading involves high risks, so we need to monitor your account. Since you've chosen 10x leverage, if the stock price drops by 5%, your position will be forcibly liquidated. This is also for the safety of your funds. Since you are a major client, I can offer you a commission rate of 3/10,000ths. Chen Shui explained all the specific details. Compared to the interest on the loan, commissions were the brokerage's main source of income. For a client like Yi Xian with 3.5 million in funds, every trade would generate a commission of 1,050 yuan for the brokerage. It was precisely for this reason that Chen Shui was being so proactive. Yi Xian calculated in his head for a moment and nodded. Okay, can you handle discretionary trading here? Stock market trading can only be done during the daytime on weekdays. As a third-year high school student, if he frequently skipped class, his father, Yi Jiming, would take a belt to him before comrade Wang Jiehui even had to say anything. He wasn't too worried about security. For an investment manager at a brokerage, the funds they managed daily were far greater than his 3.5 million. Chen Shui smiled sweetly. Of course, after you've chosen your stocks, just let me know, and I can execute the trades for you. All right, I'll call you then. Yi Xian stood up and shook hands with Chen Shui, who then saw him out of the securities exchange. Watching Yi Xian's departing figure, Chen Shui murmured to herself, "What a mysterious man." After leaving the securities exchange, Yi Xian went to a shopping mall and bought himself a Nokia 3120 phone. It was a basic model released by Nokia in '04, priced at $12.99.